What's going on, everyone? Welcome to SpawnCast episode. Evan's not here, so I'm just going to take a shot and say 93. Episode 93. Hopefully that's right. We'll find out. Someone in the chat will probably correct me otherwise. Last week we were on Christmas/New Year's break, I guess. We had a pre-recorded video, but we're back today live, and we actually have a special guest with us tonight. We have Conrad from Commonwealth Realm. What's going on, man? How's it going?
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. It's late, that's for sure, here in Norway, 3 a.m. So looking forward to this podcast recording, and it's a busy day time. We have hopefully maybe a Nintendo Direct coming up, so a ton to talk about.
Yep. We're going to cover that because there's a chance that it's this week coming up, and this could be the last podcast recorded before then. So we figure we'll talk a bit about possibilities and everything. Then we have Max, of course, Dreamcast guy. What's going on, man?
Living the dream, playing so much Diablo.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You guys over there, I guess, playing on over the weekend on the Switch for Diablo?
Yeah, they're doing a special event right now where you can basically play through the first game inside of Diablo 3 right now. It's great.
Oh, that's cool. That's neat. I'm going to check that out. Then we have Nate, Direct Feed Games, fresh off of his 10,000 sub milestone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep, you're now at 10,000 subscribers. Last time we were talking, you were like just below it, I think, or like 9,800 or 9,900. So yeah, you're now above 10,000 subs. Means you can apply for your Nintendo ambassadorship.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I mean, it's a goal you were trying to get to.
It was a goal I was aiming for, and it's awesome to actually have achieved it. And now hopefully, I do get the ambassadorship and I can produce some content for Nintendo games. But it's definitely still an uphill battle.
Yeah, and you're gonna think about doing some more like discussion and opinionated pieces too.
Yeah, I'll probably do some discussion pieces on certain topics that I find interesting, whether it's after like the direct airs, if I find that interesting to talk about what was shown, or even like rumors, be it the Switch Pro, stuff like that. I'll probably tackle a bit in the future.
The Switch Pro is going to be interesting, yeah.
And I'm looking forward to your PlayStation, like new PlayStation Portable type of discussion videos that you're going to be having too. Those are going to be, I can't wait for those, dude.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna break down that PllStation Portable with PS5 power, like 12 teraflops. I'm
gonna hit it with the hammer, like John. I don't give.
Yeah,
right. I'm picking all the views for that crap. I'm just gonna knock the shit out of it with the hammer. So hey, that's me.
It'll be yeah. Well, the Switch Pro, at least, the revision will be interesting to talk about as we get more into 2019, when we probably hear something about it. At least according to the Wall Street Journal, we'll hear more about that. Then you just heard OJ. OJ's with us from Player Essence. What's going on, man?
I'm doing good. It's good to be here once again.
Good. You're finished up with Smash for at least now, to step away for a minute to do the podcast.
yeah. I was playing. I had a 6-hour stream today for Smash Brothers.
I was gonna say every time I went on YouTube, you're still streaming. I was like, he's still playing Smash.
Yeah. It was fun. I was leveling up my Richter. I was trying to get better with Richter, so I kind of had like a labbing session of Richter. Got the 0 to death combo, so I was excited. It's hard as hell. Like you gotta throw like. I was watching Zero do it. You gotta like throw the fire, do like dive kicks, and then you just take them all the way up the top of the stage. But it's cool. It's fun. Richter's very fun and very annoying to fight against, but he's very fun to use.
Nice. Then we got of course Sean. Sean's with us. What's going on, man?
Yo,
back from your vacation,
man. Yeah, it didn't go quite as I thought it was gonna go. Because like I hit up my cousin and I was like, "Did you buy your kids Smash Brothers for Christmas?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, good, I've been playing that shit. I'm going to whip their asses. And then Christmas Day, everyone came over to Grandma's house, and we were about to eat. I went out on the porch. So I was like, all right, boys, come get your asses whipped. And so we went into the room I was staying in because I brought my dock with me, and I lost.
Ooh. You lost. To everyone, or just like
I mean, because she has an adopted like kid who's like 14, and then she has a biological son who's 7, and I whipped the 7-year-old's ass. But that man Carlos don't play around. Like, he was hitting me with combos and shit, and I'm like, how do you know the combos already? He's like, I've been practicing on my 3DS. And I'm like, get out of here, you bitch. So yeah, there was some heated words at Christmas, but it was good. It was fun.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of the whole point, is to get together, get your Switches together and everything, and then hate each other in real life afterwards. So
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the whole point of family getting together at the holidays. Cool. So, do you guys want to start with anything we've been playing this past week? Anything good? Anything good?
Not really.
Not really.
I haven't really been playing much. I've been sick and doing some stuff, and yeah, I've just been fucking around. Really.
Did you get a chance to play Cave? What is it? Cave Blazers?
Yeah, I've been playing it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm playing it too. We got videos coming up for that, but it should be interesting to see. What were you saying, Max?
I beat Onimusha remastered.
Oh yeah, didn't you and Sean and Nate? Didn't you guys all play that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it after them, but man, that game aged really good.
Oh, cool. Because that's coming out on the American eShop.
15th.
Yeah, see, I'll get
15th,
it then.
yeah.
I'll get it when it comes out then. But
It's man, it is really short. I did a full master file in 4 hours. Every item, every upgrade, 4 hours. That's super short.
it's $20, right? Okay, yeah. I mean, if you remember it from back in the day, I guess you'll pick it up. But Nate, you did a comparison between the PS2 version and the Switch version.
Yep.
How did it looked a bit better on the Switch, I'd say.
Yeah, just a little bit better. I mean, not too much, but yeah. I mean, it is pretty true to exactly what the PS2 was. I mean, it is a simple up-res.
Yeah, I mean,
it's clean. It plays well. It better frame rate, has some quality of life changes, like the weapon swapping is assigned to the trigger, so it's nice and fast. The load times are almost non-existent.
I mean, that's kind of what they were going for, right? Kind of a cheap and easy port, basically, to all the platforms.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest disappointment with the release is that it has none of the Xbox content. So they could have made this release the definitive version instead of just an HD PS2 version. They could have given that Xbox content, even if it was unlockable, to give more replay value.
That's a good point. Maybe this could lead into the new Onimusha, like a brand new one.
Yeah, ideally we get, the second one, third one, and what was the other one? New Dawn or something like that.
I played what was it? Was it the fourth one? Because that one was weird. It had like a different guy in it and everything.
The one with Gene Reno.
Yeah,
that's 3. Yeah,
that's 3. Okay, that's 3. Yeah, I remember playing it. And I was like, this feels weird. This is odd. It wasn't bad, but it was just different. I don't know, different from I played the Xbox version of the first one. I remember that. But
that's the big drawback. People got to know all the extra content in the Xbox version is not in this version, even if you buy it on Xbox.
Okay, how's it look in portable mode?
Good. I mean, it looks good. Yeah, it looks good. There's no frame rate. That was what apparently a lot of people were concerned that there would be frame rate problems. There's not. It runs completely good.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out on the 15th when it drops in the American eShop. John on the radio says, "Hey, Conrad." I think it's a fan of yours, Conrad.
Yeah, reoccurring fan on our live stream. So hello to you too.
Cool. And you've been playing anything this week, Conrad? Anything sticks out to you?
I just had time to play Smash while traveling, and it's pretty much the portability. And I played a little bit of Pokemon Let's Go because I'm a little bit unsure what the Pokemon Company is doing with Generation 8. So I want to go a little bit deeper into the mechanics of that game and see what they would like to keep and what they would like to change and how ambitious they are with the upcoming game.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you never know. They could keep some of the capture mechanics for all we know. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to see that. I mean, Smash. I think a lot of us have probably played Smash a couple times this week at least. I would say, other than OJ, who played for 6 hours today. But
yes, I did play for 6 hours today. But I also played Watchdogs 2 for the first time on stream.
Interesting.
This
Okay.
Yeah.
Watchdogs 2. All right. Let me ask, what made you pick up Watchdogs 2?
The main character is black.
Okay, that's fair enough. It's also it's whenever I go by Walmart and I see it, it's like $16 on the shelf.
I'm joking. No, the reason why I bought Watch Dogs 2 full price for somebody else. For a friend of mine. I bought it full price, so I bought the game for him. And I just wanted to get back to it because I played the first Watch Dogs. I was like, this is kind of garbage when I played the first Watch Dogs. So I was always going to get around to getting it. I just decided, you know what, it's a good price. I had a Best Buy gift card thing. I got it for $6. So yeah, played it on stream, and I instantly knew it was a Western game as soon as I start playing the controls. And I'm like, yeah.
You can tell it's a Ubisoft game right away.
You can tell it's a Ubisoft game. You can tell it's the classic Ubisoft style. But no, it was fun. I streamed it for a few hours, and I had fun when I played it. So yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
The main character is black though.
Yeah, I played it. Man, when did that come out? That came out like
2016.
It feels
right?
like it was. It
2017?
feels like it was a long time ago. I don't know. For some reason, it feels like it was forever ago.
I think
the
the
writing's
game was-
really good though. Like the jokes and everything that they have in there, like it's really good, really witty writing and everything. So I did like that about the game.
Yeah, if Watchdogs 1 was overhyped, I would say that Watchdogs 2 is very underrated.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs 1 was hyped because of that footage they showed that wasn't real. Like in the beginning. Oh man, it was like that might be next gen stuff. And then it came out and it wasn't anything like that. But two was better than 1. Yeah, I would say so. But that's an interesting thing to pick up and play though now, OJ. So that's cool. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I started up. I'm still continuing my playthrough of Persona 5 just because all the talk made me want to play it again. But then for some reason, I decided to start playing Nier again. Automata. I don't know why. I just started to play it again. And Smash, of course. Then Cave Blazers. We were just talking about that. Sean playing some of that. And that's about it, actually. Really, just going back and forth between Smash and everything else. I think that's all Evan's been playing too is Smash. So I can pretty much talk for him. But that's about it for me. Anything else, Nate? You were playing?
I started Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but I'm only like an hour into it. So.
Whoa. Okay.
Yay,
Interesting.
yes.
Interesting. What made you start that up, Nate? Because that's gonna take you a while, man.
I got it. It was gifted to me for Christmas, so.
Okay. Yeah. What did anyone else get anything really good for Christmas? I didn't even think of that since. Let me think. I guess we would have. Yeah, that's a good point. We wouldn't have really been on a podcast since then. What did everyone get for Christmas? Anything good?
Well, I got some good stuff. One of them was I got Dragon Quest Builders on Switch, and man, I'm falling in love with that game all over again.
Dragon Quest Build. Okay, yeah, because the second one came out in Japan already. So I don't know if does it have an English option or no? Do you know, OJ?
I don't think it does.
No English option because my
no,
blind
no.
Jew has it, and no English option.
That's a shame. Yeah. People really like that game. I didn't really get into Dragon Quest Builders games. I've gotten into Dragon Quest 11, but not Builders. People really like that game. It's interesting though. Okay. What about anyone else? Anyone else get anything good for Christmas?
I got what did I get? I got one of these controllers.
Yeah.
Here. You sent me. Yeah, this was great, John. This is a great controller. Thank you.
Oh yeah, what's everyone's opinion on that controller?
It's fun for like classic games.
30 Pro. Yeah.
I actually used it on my that Super Mario Brothers 64 hack video that I did. That's the controller I used to play it.
It'll work fine on PC. Yep.
I used it on my video that I made about Smash Brothers controllers. I used it for Smash Brothers too and rated it on there. It's better than the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that would work on Smash. I played through Monster Boy with it, and I had a good experience on Monster Boy, which is a game that people should look into if you guys haven't played it yet. Especially definitely you, Sean, since you like some of the older style games a lot. Yeah, that's like a solid 2D platformer with like Metroidvania elements to it.
Okay.
I'm looking at that. It's a good game.
Hell type of comment is that?
What?
This guy saying my picture reminds him of the serpents from Dark Souls.
What?
Okay,
that works. I guess.
Good. I'm gonna
that's a good
story
game.
checks out.
It's a good game.
Hell.
Interesting. Okay. All right then. What about Conrad? Did you get anything good for Christmas or anything?
Good for Christmas. I mostly already got my games from Nintendo. A few from the eShop sales that are going on right now. So I finally had the chance to play Octopath Traveler, which is a game everyone should try on the Switch, especially now when it is discounted. So I think it's $41.99 right now on the US eShop until Thursday. That's
a good price for it. That's a good one to travel with too, by the way. Like if you said you were traveling with portable factor, that's a great game to play in portable mode. Good, definitely worth that money though. Definitely, you should check out if you're like a lot of the RPGs, Conrad. When Dragon Quest 11S comes over, you should keep that on your radar as well.
Oh, I'm definitely looking that up. I was very excited when they had that presentation back in Japan the other week, and I really hope they bring it to the West this year, and it's not just a Japanese release.
Yeah, I hope it hits Japan like over the summer is what I'm hoping, and then they bring it out here in like holiday, like maybe even September, give like a full year from the PS4 version. But that game took me 70 hours just to beat the storyline, and there's like full end game, so it's a long game, but it's really good. It's traditional RPG, but it's really good. It's a good game. I would recommend it. Cool. I guess before we get into some of these topics, I wanted to ask Conrad. You had a video that came out pretty recently about the Nintendo Online.
Correct.
And I was actually interested in that because you were talking about the online trying to improve in 2019, right? Was that like kind of the general idea and pointing out some of the things? What were some of the things that you were pointing out? Do you remember off the top of your head that you wanted to see improved? Because I think that was a good topic, because we can talk about it now, and then at the end of the year, I guess we could technically look back and see if they improved or if they improved anything.
Well, mostly I think that they need to extend the SNES library. That is the next step, especially now when they are closing the Wii U eShop, and it will be very hard to get hold of these games. They're discontinuing the SNES and NES Classic, and that's just a given. I think they need to get forward with the special deals that they promised. They have been very limited so far. It's only been those NES controllers. And other than that, they just need to make the online experience much more stable. People are paying for online now. The expectations will be there, because when you pay for something, you automatically have expectations. And when it comes to their service, Nintendo has just not delivered on what they promised, and that was to deliver an online experience that would work and would function probably better than the one on Wii U when it was free. And when you see that there's no significant improvement, and in some cases even a worse experience than when you had it free, obviously people are going to rage and be disappointed. So I think they need to be pay attention to making sure that they're cloud backing every game as they can, because not being able to back up Splatoon 2 or Pokemon Let's Go, it's a big bummer.
Pokemon Let's Go was a weird one. Splatoon 2, it feels like they built that without even thinking about the online, which is weird because it needs the online. But it is interesting to hear about all that, because then they also have some features they should also improve on, like the messaging system and communicating with your friends on your friends list, things like that. Yeah, you're right though. There's a lot of stuff they can improve, and I'm thinking that 2019 they'll have to do some stuff. I like the idea of the Super Nintendo games though. That would be cool, because we were talking about this before.
Give us virtual console.
Yeah, we were talking about this before. We don't even know what games are coming out to the online service this month, like at all. They haven't told us.
Well, they definitely don't want to upload that to YouTube, because it's going to be downvoted within like a few hours.
Yeah, but like months ago, they gave us a roadmap. We knew about December's games. Wow, back in like September or August. We knew about it forever ago. I feel like I think it was September.
They announced them like all at once, and then they re-announced them as time went on. It's almost like there's going to be some sort of presentation coming up soon where they will talk about what games are going to come in the month of December. I mean,
but
January.
Sean,
hopefully directly.
But Sean, you can go back and look at your videos, right? Because you make a video when they add new ones to the online, and you can tell me the dates, but I'm pretty sure it was around the 11th or the 12th or so, right in there.
Yeah, it's between like the 11th and the 13th is when they usually do it.
Yeah, well, that's next week. So, yeah, and I mean it's a monthly recurring charge, so you figure they want to. Then they said new ones every month, so you figure they would add them next week, I guess.
Yeah.
So unless they're just going to drop it on Twitter and say, "Hey, these are the games for January," which they could do.
It looks like we have a lot of hints pointing to a Nintendo Direct. You have the sales ending early on Thursday. You have New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe coming out on Friday, and we don't have release dates for many games coming out in February and March. It's pretty much bound to happen at this point. And also, since we don't have those Nintendo Switch Online NES games for January, it looks like Nintendo's holding off something.
Yeah. I don't think it's crazy to say there's a January presentation coming, right? We don't really know exactly when. That's what a lot of us have been trying to figure out. It's in the next 2 weeks. I think most of us agree on that. It's either this week coming up or the following week. A lot of us think it's on the 10th, just from we were just talking about the online games being added and stuff around that time. So a lot of us are attempting to figure out if it's the 10th or something like the 17th. Those are Thursdays. That'll make sense. I guess it could take place on a Wednesday as well, right?
Yeah, but aren't they usually Thursdays?
They're usually Thursdays, but I mean, we've had them on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays.
We've had them on Friday. Yeah, I was gonna say we've had them on Fridays before too.
Yeah. It's just typically we see it occur on a Thursday. So that's what people look to say, well, if it happens on Thursday, the 10th makes sense, the 17th makes sense. So, I mean, I guess they could even go, to the 24th, but it just seems like you have no games dated for February. You can't really wait until like the last week of January to date games coming out in 2 weeks.
Is Is Travis Strikes Again? Is that the last game that they have dated right now and like coming up?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much
For first
Yeah.
party, yeah.
Yeah, that's mid-January. Wow. Yeah. So I guess they have to do something soon. I think it would make sense to do it right before Mario anyway. The new Super Mario Bros. U, because they throw a cheap, easy advertisement right in there. you know.
Yeah. Like, don't forget to buy it.
Yeah, just go and buy it. They did also make for all the people in the chat. They did also make Bowsette non-canon now. So there you go. Apparently, Toadette's the only one that can use that crown. There you
They
go.
had to do it.
They had to. They saw what happened online. Man, can you imagine having to be the intern that goes into like Reggie's office and is like, "This is what's happening to the online now on Twitter."
Well, I mean, it's no worse than what happened with Pottermore this week about wizards using magic to make their shit disappear.
Well, at least it pumped up the stock price for a little while.
Oh man. Lecrang says, "Hi, have you had time to look into the Mr. project? Giant Bomb did a live stream playing around with it. I have been playing Amiga and TurboGrafx 16 since Christmas. Neo Geo and Capcom arcade boards currently being worked on. I have not looked at the Mr. project. Sean, that sounds like a retro thing. Have you looked into that at all?
Let's see what this is.
Okay.
Lecrang,
thank you. We're gonna put Sean on this one. See what he comes up with here.
it's a recent FPGA a recent Mr. update. I don't know what Mr. is though.
Mr.
Isn't that that's the thing where they're able to replicate arcade boards the first time, right?
Yes.
It's Mr. Oh, I see the Mr. Okay, welcome to Mr. There's a whole wiki and everything. If you want to read through that, Sean, and just see what you can figure out and what it is, we can come back to it. If there's any easy explanation there that you can pick out real quick.
Okay, so somebody's made a Mr. Arcade cabinet.
Oh.
So that's like a big deal right now.
Ooh, that sounds like a topic for a video for you anyway, Sean.
Right.
Cool. And so back on topic of the Direct, we're gonna talk a bit about this because it's this might be the last podcast before then. So let's just pretend, just for now, that the Direct is it's happening this week, or at least it'll happen before our next podcast. So we don't know much about anything after Travis Strikes Again. What do you guys want to see at this hypothetical Direct?
Games.
Okay,
Zelda. I want to see Link's.
So Nate isn't going to be hinting at if Nate says something, it's not because he thinks it's happening or anything. Okay, so don't think about any of that.
Yeah, they're just honest predictions that
I don't believe it.
I'm just saying things that I hope happen. It doesn't. It's not a hint. It's not a tease.
I'm gonna go rile up the chat right now. Actually,
that means I have to predict things like Grand Theft Auto 7.
Oh, come on, going, Nate. What do you think, my man? I'm going to the chat. Let's go.
I'll put it
7X3 where Sephiroth impales Cloud.
I'll put a prediction in there. I'll say Metroid Prime Trilogy gets announced there. Okay. And it has to be a good one too. It can't just be the old ones upscaled. That's what I'm gonna say. And I'm buying that day one.
Yeah.
Even if it's $60, I'm buying it. Because
I definitely think we're gonna see 2 or 3 3DS games.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't think it's gonna be. I think it'll be rifled off too. I think we'll be through those 360 game or those 3DS games in like 5 minutes at the most.
That's my hope. I would hope under 3 minutes. I hope they're literally like bam, bam, bam.
Well, I think the last Direct, it was I timed it and it was 3 minutes on 3DS stuff.
Well, the thing about the 3DS in 2019 is that it's pretty much they're pretty much depleting everything that is worth something on the 3DS. Pokemon, Fire Emblem, Animal Crossing. And with that gone, I just see remasters coming to the 3DS, and that's how they are going to keep this system alive until, say, like 2020. And then even those remasters will be coming out to the Switch. So I just think that they will have it in the beginning, go through it very quickly, just like they did in the last September Direct, and then they are going to focus all on Switch, and especially on spring releases, because we don't have release dates for Yoshi's Crafted World, Fire Emblem Three Houses, and we don't have that many third-party games as well in the time span between February and April when we have Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah, it's interesting to be like, oh yeah, the Switch get Mortal Kombat 11. I still want to see how that game looks on that system and how it plays and everything, because that's a game that has to be 60 on the system, so 60 frames.
Yeah. So
it'll be interesting to see that. It'll be crazy to have Mortal Kombat 11 as like a portable game. That'd be insane to see. But so I said Metroid Prime Trilogy, right? Let me what about this? What about so we know we talked about this as well, right, Nate? King Zell was on Reset Air talking about several different hints at things. A 2D game, a trilogy. A trilogy is probably Metroid Prime, right? Mm-hmm. And then more Breath of the Wild stuff. Is that surprising to anyone?
It's super surprising to me. Didn't they officially say they were done with Breath of the Wild?
Well, they said they're done with Breath of the Wild DLC.
Yeah, expansion process.
I mean, I don't find it surprising if they want to continue either the narrative of Breath of the Wild in like a sequel or like a Majora's Mask type of direction, because you built this engine that's very impressive. You've only used it for one game, and now you can make a sequel or something based on that world and come out with it on the Switch in far less time. I mean, remember, Breath of the Wild was done in 2016, so now you're looking at a 4-year time where you can get another in that universe out. And I mean, it's one of the most popular Zelda games. Yeah. So just capitalizing on that popularity, the systems you already built for the game, use that engine again, turn out the game quickly.
They could just basically respond to criticism. One of the main things people wanted was bigger dungeons. You could just release Breath of the Wild 2 and it's just a bunch of dungeons and people would buy it.
I have a little theory regarding the Zelda games this year, and that is that I don't think we'll see the reveal of any Breath of the Wild sequel in this Direct. That's one thing. But what I could see is a remake, because we have the Zelda's 33rd anniversary coming up in February. Nintendo has no games in February. So I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to port Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD to the Nintendo Switch. And then they say also that later in the year, you'll be getting Skyward Sword HD, because the next Zelda will not be ready until, say, like 2020. And then, of course, look forward to E3 for more on that.
So what if so how about this one, Conrad? They also said that there was a 2D game, and we're we're pretty sure that the 2D game is another Zelda game.
Yeah.
Is what a lot of us are speculating on, that there is actually another Zelda game in development. And a lot of that speculation comes from the fact that the team that would have been building like A Link Between Worlds for the 3DS is no longer developing stuff for the 3DS.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we need to keep in mind is that the Zelda team is not one team. It's a multiple divisions, and people have even talked about whether Grezza could make another game in the style of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask 3D, just to continue the story of the Hero of Time. That everyone would love to have that. Sure. So I don't think 2D Zelda is dead, and especially if Breath of the Wild is going into the more open air approach, which is non-linear, very open, and the dungeons may never be the same again. I think that we need the 2D Zelda to balance it out.
I think it'd be cool because I'm more of a traditional Zelda fan, like Link to the Past. I liked Link to the Between Worlds a lot. Oh yeah, but that's my kind of Zelda game. Link's Awakening. I'd like to see Link's Awakening remake.
That would be a great remake. Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
but yeah, that would be an interesting thing to kick off the Direct with, even if they started right. Because if you remember last time they started off with the last one we had, really, they started off with Luigi's Mansion right away. So kick it off with something like a 2D Zelda or something big. That'd be cool. I don't think you need to start off a Direct this early in the year with a 2D Zelda, especially if the game isn't planned for, let's say, the holiday. Because right now you could show Animal Crossing again. You could show something like Luigi's Mansion. You still have to talk about Fire Emblem. You have to talk about Daemon X Machina. You have plenty of other stuff that's probably going to come out ahead of 2D Zelda if it does come out this holiday. And you could wait till E3 and make 2D Zelda and another title that's probably like Gen 8 Pokemon. You also have 3. Nintendo has enough going into 2019. And even if we entertain like Metroid Prime 4, if you have the trilogy in this Direct,
you probably want a teaser for Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
They're not going to go into this direct and show everything of 2019 in one thing. You want to space some of the stuff out. Wait for E3. Wait for our direct in March, May.
Well, they do need to. I think they do need to get who you call it involved in this Retro Studios. Like, we haven't seen them at all. We hear, of course, the rumors about Star Fox from Eurogamer and other people, but like,
which I mean dates back to almost a year ago.
And this could be also another reason why we haven't heard anything from Retro and the new game, because they're too busy remastering first Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze and then Metroid Prime Trilogy HD. So my take on Metroid Prime 4 and the Direct is that yes, we could get a CGI teaser, and then it just transitions automatically through, in just like they did pretty much with the Game Awards, but there they did the opposite way. Instead, they just tease Metroid Prime 4 and then go into Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, experience it before you play Metroid Prime 4. And,
it's going to be weird if we get to E3 this year and they announced Prime 4 2 years ago and we still haven't seen a screenshot for it. That would be weird, like if we went that long.
I do want to see the first like gameplay footage, like a gameplay trailer for Bayonetta 3. I think that'd be kind of cool if they showed off something from that, because Hideki Kamiya did say a while back that everything's going really well with that. And they said they want to make this like the most innovative action game, or they're going to want to completely reinvent the action genre with this game. So he's already kind of hyping it up himself. Maybe the Wonderful 101, everyone's always talking about like, hey, maybe not everyone, not really everyone, but some people like to talk about the Wonderful 101 potentially having a port. I know Platinum Games wants to do it. So that would be really cool if we got something like that, you know?
That'd be good. I think they'd get away with the summer release for that one.
Wonderful 101.
Yeah, I'd buy it.
I think 101 would make a good summer release, just kind of over the summer.
The game's really good, and I think it would really benefit from being on Switch. They can lock it in 60 frames per second, lock it in 1080p. It was a bit inconsistent on the Wii U. A lot of people didn't even know that you can play the game without the Wii U gamepad. Like, a lot of people didn't know that. Like, there's like, oh, these controls are horrible. Like, you can use a normal controller. Oh, you can? Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Oh, I can't. Okay, great. You know, so the game you can play it that way too. So I think it would be a good transition over to Switch.
I do see the super chats. We're gonna read them in about 15 minutes, right around 9:50. So we'll do that then, PM my time, Eastern. And so Metroid would really, I think, benefit from some kind of CGI. Just show where the story is exactly. Where is this taking place? How many years later, or I don't know, earlier, who knows, but just something to kind of get people, okay, this is what they're going for. We can live with that for now, because Metroid Prime 4 I think that's a 2020 game at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of lean towards 2020 just because the trilogy comes out this year. I think you kind of want that like 1 year lead time, kind of like we got Bayonetta 1 and 2 last year. Hopefully that means Bayonetta 3 is this year. You don't want to overload people with 4 Metroid Prime games in a single calendar year.
Right.
Yeah, I'd love to play all 4 in a year, but
and I want a port of Prime Pinball while we're at it.
That's what they're really going
Prime
to
Hunters. Prime Hunters is actually quite significant when it comes to the story of Metroid Prime.
I like the pinball.
I like both of those. I like the pinball.
I love the pinball game
with the Rumble Pack.
Yeah, it's like it was like
the one game. The one game to use the DS Rumble Pack, and it came with it. Prime Hunters,
Pokemon Pinball had a Rumble Pack too for some reason.
Yeah, but Prime Hunters is probably my most played game of all time.
Yeah. See, now what if the Metroid Prime trilogy is really Prime Hunters, Pinball, and Federation Force?
Oh man,
you ruined it. You ruined it with the last one.
I am so down for that. Let's do it, dude.
Oh man. Either way, Metroid Prime Trilogy needs to be there. They need to get that out soon so I can buy it and play it.
But there's one thing. Wouldn't they want to save the trilogy if Metroid Prime 4 is coming out in 2020 for E3?
Maybe, but here, I mean, we got the Bayonetta collection. Almost a year ago now.
Yeah, but that was the Game Awards.
Nintendo usually treats the first half of a new year with ports and remasters. Like last year, in the first half, we had Bayonetta and we had Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Or the second half are the new releases, the bigger guns.
Maybe
a trilogy probably isn't viewed as a big gun. When you have Gen 8 coming out, you have maybe a 2D Zelda, you have maybe Bayonetta 3, maybe Luigi's Mansion 3.
I think Prime Trilogy would actually sell some think that sells some copies. And honestly, if people are clamoring for Metroid Prime 4, you got to go out and you got to buy Trilogy. Like you got to go buy it, because I bet you there's a lot of people who, when I ordered those GameCube games and I had Prime 1 and 2 in there for like I think $18 combined. By the way, in case that was pretty good. But I think there's a lot of people who probably weren't even gaming when those came out on the GameCube. So you should go out and I think when that comes out, you need to go pick those up. It'll show support for the series, obviously, but for $60 for those 3 games, I think it's completely worth it anyway. So everyone should go out and buy that if and when it gets announced and releases. But I think that would actually sell. That might be one of their better selling ports. But well, unless they port over Mario Maker.
Yeah.
At this point, just do a sequel to Mario Maker. It's been too long for a port.
Yeah, but they might see that as maybe, I don't know, maybe that'd be easy for them to move over. I don't know. I mean, what else can you add to Mario Maker? Hills.
Well, Hills, and a lot of people have asked about more crossover stuff. I've seen a lot of people saying, like, let us put Zelda characters in stuff, but still Mario Maker levels.
Man, Metroid Prime 1, 60 frames per second, 1080p with like better looking textures and everything. That's gonna look insane. Man. The sound was really good too. The sound effects and like the kind of the lower music that they had in the background to make it really creepy. That was awesome. I want to play that game now, but I don't feel like starting it now if it's just the trilogy's gonna be out this year. We'll see. What do you guys think about third-party support? Because last time we saw a Direct, we had some weird third-party support show up, like Civilization.
You're gonna have a lot of Western in this Direct.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's going to be I think the Western companies are finally starting to get on board. I mean, you can't deny the system sales. I mean, look at the Wii. The Wii had fucking Call of Duty on it. You know, World of War was on there. Modern Warfare was on there. I think there was a Black Ops on there. I mean, those companies go where the money is. EA was on there with, you know, they had new IPs, they had ports of IPs, they had all their sports games on there. So I think you're going to see the big Western companies hit up some games, honestly.
I do want to add to that. I agree. I think we could see a sequel to Carnival Games. That was a game that also just recently came out. More third-party support is always good. Carnival Games, man. Did they hit you guys up for the Carnival Games?
Oh man, that was bad.
Yeah. I played it. I played it on Switch.
Yeah.
Until then they eventually patched it after I spent like 4 hours getting enough tickets to get every game in it.
Carnival Games 2, baby. Direct. That's it.
Well, one thing they definitely need to talk about is Crash Team Racing coming to the Nintendo Switch, because we had the reveal at the Game Awards, but it was only for the PlayStation 1. And yes, it was later confirmed that, it's also coming to the Switch and all these other systems at the same date. But I think many didn't get the message, actually. So I think they really need to show Crash Team Racing trailer, pretty much just like they did with Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy in the March Direct last year.
Yeah, they need to show that Spyro collection too. Both of those, Crash Team Racing, Spyro. Yeah,
show us some Persona.
We're going to talk about that, but yeah, that's an interesting topic because they might. We'll see. We still need to figure out what Persona 5R is anyway, but we'll actually move on to that in a second. We're done here.
Yeah, we'll wait with Persona.
So we're thinking a Direct is all right. So what's everyone think about this? Do you think it's going to happen this week or the following week? The week coming up or the following week after that?
The
I said
10th.
10th. Yeah,
10th for sure.
Okay, yeah, it has to be 10.
Yeah, I think so too. I'll be live streaming it here, and anyone's on the panels able to, if they want, they can join me as well. But
we're
I think it'll be the 11th. I'm going to be different and say it's going to be the 11th.
It's going to be Friday, man. All right.
Friday.
All right.
Let's put it this way. If it's not the 10th, it's the 17th. If it's not the 17th, it'd be like the 23rd or the 24th. If it's not then, it's the 31st.
Okay, my prediction is very brief. 3 hours after they end the New Year's sales, we get a Nintendo Direct.
Okay, fair enough.
It ends midday, so then maybe 6 hours after, maybe.
Okay. And I guess the last thing, do you guys think, I'll throw this in there as well, because this is what we ask every single time when there's a Direct, at least since, 2 years since? Yeah. Do you think Retro Studios is going to show up in this event?
No.
We ask about every E3, every Direct.
Well.
Good.
Smartass. I want to be the smartass. If Metroid Trilogy's there, Retro is there. So yes, I will say Retro does make an appearance in this Direct.
I'm saying retro is going to be there, and they're going to be there with new games.
I'm gonna say they'll be there as well. But
They're going to be there with new games. Whatever your definition of new games is, they're going to be there with new games. Let's go.
No.
I'm going to predict that. I'm predicting it right now.
hey,
Metroid Trilogy
no.
with online multiplayer. That's what they are going to do to push the Nintendo Switch Online and improve the Nintendo Switch Online in 2019.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if they did something different with the online a bit. I think the biggest thing, I think if they could mess around with the way the eShop looks and everything, that would help as well. But I think they'll make some adjustments and some updates. They might even announce them. Honestly, they might just push them out the door. You know, your Switch has an update. Congratulations. There's a message your friend button now.
Hell yeah. I'd love that.
You can customize your background on the Switch now.
Oh yeah, themes and everything. That's a good. There was a super chat that actually mentioned that, and actually I'll read those, and then we'll move on to the Persona 5 because that is an interesting topic of discussion. Persona 5R. I think there's a lot of stuff to go over there. Let me go to the super chats here. And let's see, where did the start? There we go. Okay, yeah. That was Hey Conrad from John on the radio. Then we had Lacrang. Then we had Riku Key 2. Are you guys ready for Resident Evil 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3? Also, is the Resident Evil 2 demo still coming on the 11th? I'm not sure about the Resident Evil 2 demo. If they're going to announce it, it's going to be probably on Monday. Riku Key, which it sounds like there will be a demo, so get excited for that. Time demo, though, 30-minute demo. And yes, I'm excited for both. I'm going to try to get Resident Evil 2 and beat that because if I remember right, Resident Evil 2 wasn't a super long game, but they might have added some stuff and who knows. But I'm going to try to get that, beat that, and then play Kingdom Hearts 3 because that's going to be a long game. But yes, I'm getting both. Yes, one way or the other. I don't know if Square's sending it or not. I'm buying that one either way. So
I have a feeling that Resident Evil is going to be a long game. I think they've added some stuff to it.
I went back and watched a lot of their interviews. Apparently, they don't want anybody to call it a remake. Apparently, they've extended the story a bunch. They've added a bunch of cutscenes in, and they want this to be the new official Resident Evil 2, and like forget the old one. So I do think it'll be about 6 or 7 hours.
I mean, Capcom's been very clear that it's not a remake; it's a reimagining of the original game, much like Final Fantasy VII is for what Square. It's just taking that original concept and they're expanding on it in many ways. So it's nothing like what you played on the PlayStation 1. It has a similar core concept, but how you're going to experience will differ.
Here's the real question, Nate. Here's the real question, Nate. Are you doing a graphical comparison for the PS1 version and the Xbox One X version?
No.
Why not?
I need to know which one looks better.
It's fucking Game Explain did a N64 versus Switch comparison to Smash Brothers. Like
Game Explain did a Game Boy Color of Pokemon Yellow versus Let's Go.
But they also did the Final Fantasy VII remake versus Final Fantasy VII and got a bunch of views.
I probably won't get Resident Evil at launch, so I can't do that comparison.
Okay.
I am.
Yeah, I'll pick it up. Yeah, maybe Capcom will send it. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm definitely gonna be picking up and streaming the whole thing. This will be the first time that I actually go through like Resident Evil 2 not scared because I played the game when I was a kid and have not replayed it. And I was just scared. I would die all the time. I beat it, man, but it took me forever. I was trash.
I remember I rented it. Yeah, I rented it over 2 weekends. Yeah,
I used to go to the little mom and pop shop. There was a place called Player One, and I used to go there and play it and get my butt kicked literally like every single time. And sometimes they would feel sorry for me. They would just let me play because it's like back then it was $1 for an hour. So they would just let me play for over that, so they would just let me play because they just.
Did they let you keep your data on like a memory card? They were cool with that.
Yeah, you had memory cards that you rented, but they were really nice. Like that's where I got the name of my channel, Player Essence. The place was called Player One. So yeah, and I love that place. I used to go there and play all the systems that I couldn't afford and the games that I couldn't afford. So
this rich kid in my neighborhood would get the PS1 games and nobody else could, and so since Disc 1 was one character and Disc 2 was another character, he would lend out whatever character he wasn't playing. So I'd play Claire for a while, and he'd ask for it back, and then I'd beat it as Leon a bunch of times.
Nice. And then we have
that broke kid life going on, right?
Yeah. I had Wyatt says I really want them to port Zelda Twilight Princess HD on the Switch. I want it so bad. That'd be kind of cool to see Twilight Princess again. I played that I remember playing that on the Wii a lot and thought it was all right, but I liked Wind Waker more.
I've played it a few times now, man. I don't know. I think wouldn't it be cool if they remastered, like remade like Minish Cap or something like different?
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
like something else instead of like we just
That's actually one of the super chats talks about Game Boy Advance games.
Well, because I beat it on the GameCube, I beat it on the GameCube, Wii, and the Wii U, and I'm like, man, another one. I mean, that'd be cool, but man, there's a lot of Zelda games that they haven't done yet.
Yeah, Minish Cap would be interesting.
I would love to see. A lot of people have asked for Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. People have asked for a combined edition to be great.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, and with the good relationship between Nintendo and Capcom these days, with Mega Man 11 coming out to the Switch, and also all the other Mega Man collections and Capcom collections that have come, I definitely see that as a possibility. Especially they're probably the most underrated Zelda games of all.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Yeah. What about they should do Beautiful Joe? That's what they should do. I bring that up every time. Yeah, I just got that one too from GameStop on the GameCube. Gibby says, "I just want Nintendo to announce themes and party chat for Switch." Yeah. Themes is the thing everyone keeps asking for. Basically, be able to customize it beyond what is it like night mode and like day mode or whatever, where it's just like a white background or like a dark gray background.
I'd be fine if they just allowed you to use like the in-game screenshots you take from games to make that a background.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That seems like that should be easier than they're making.
Yeah, but then they don't make money.
$2.
It's better than taking an image of Breath of the Wild and be like, oh, this is perfect for a background. They can't sell you that.
They will make it exclusive to Nintendo Switch Online.
Oh, man.
That's the way of improving the service.
You have to be online to install your background.
Oh, gosh. Trollosaurus says, with Square Enix porting older Final Fantasy games to the Switch, do you think we will see them port some Dragon Quest or Chrono? I guess the older ones even.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, a Chrono Trigger, absolutely 100%. But old Dragon Quest would be so interesting.
Like the old ones, like go grab like Dragon Quest 3 from the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom that never came out here. I had to make the reproduction for that, and because it's a 6 megabyte game, you had to use several chips and like wires everywhere, and it was one of the worst things ever. Yeah, they should do that. Dragon Quest 3 was actually cool when they remade that on the Super Famicom. That was a cool game. Yeah, they should do that. They should. Even if they sell it. Like, I mean, we have He-Call's doing a great job with Sega M2. Man, I can't wait to see them take a shot at a Dreamcast game. That's going to be cool. They are doing some ridiculous stuff with the Genesis right now. Let's see. I had that. And then Joe says, you guys know the Senran Kagura games aren't dating sims, right? Also, can we get Tokyo Mirage Sessions uncensored for Switch?
That would be a good thing.
I love Tokyo Mirage Sessions. That game is amazing. There was just some issues with the controls or with how they did it and the censorship. If they removed that and then they made it to where you don't have to look at the gamepad for for the cell phone messages, it would be perfect.
Is that the one where you had to use the gamepad and the Pro Controller at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not.
You cannot use just Xenoblade Chronicles X does that as well too, which is just like, I don't understand this type of game design from Nintendo.
I remember playing Xenoblade Chronicles X back then on the gamepad, and I remember the gamepad, I couldn't read the text very well on there.
Oh god, it's so small.
I didn't mind how small it was. I hated that you had to do dumb stuff with it, like, oh, I'm installing all these sensors for getting resources. Let me look at spreadsheets for an hour.
Yeah, and I didn't understand why you couldn't just have an overlay on the screen. Like, if you're going to use the Pro Controller, then use the Pro Controller. If you're going to use the gamepad, then use the gamepad. Why make you use a combination? Then the back of the box art should say Wii U Pro Controller plus gamepad. It shouldn't say, because if you don't have the gamepad, you literally can't do certain things. So it should say plus. It should be a combination of the two. It shouldn't be like just one or the other, because that's
and that's the challenge with some of these ports when it comes to the Nintendo Switch. You need to make them all functioning as well in portable mode, and that can be a challenge. Even for Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption used a lot of motion controls, so it will be very hard to play it in portable mode. The same goes with Skyward Sword HD.
Creespice just says just has $1. No message, thank you. Aaron says, I want a port of Xenoblade Chronicles X. That game is amazing. There's a lot of rumors going around about that, so maybe you'll see it pop up, because it's been going around a lot. Jay Sender says, do you think we'll get a new Legend of Zelda in 2019, either a 2D-ish top-down or a Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword HD port? I think the 2D-ish one is most likely. to be honest, for 2019, because Breath of the Wild apparently is 2020 based on what King Zell said. So he said next year, for fans of Breath of the Wild. I think the 2DS one will probably be ready first. So apparently they want to make Zelda a yearly thing. So there you go. Not necessarily Zelda games, I guess just Zelda themed games. Like I guess the Hyrule Warriors would have counted.
Yeah, and I guess remasters also could count within that.
Yep. In that case, yeah, it actually shouldn't be too hard to make Zelda a yearly thing.
I think it's been a yearly thing for like the last 8 years. So.
Yeah, it's been a yearly thing for quite a bit.
When the comment came out, people were like, "Oh my god, this is great!" It's like it's kind of been that way since the start of the 3DS.
Yeah, maybe when they commented on it, they were basically just saying we're going to keep it going like that. I guess I don't know. I forgot they even said that, to be honest. After
yeah, I guess the only year they didn't have anything Zelda was in 2012. Then they just had that Zelda. Well, they had the Zelda theme park in Nintendo Land.
And Matthew says Metroid Other M HD remaster, which fixes many of the complaints with the game. I don't know. A lot of people didn't like Other M for whatever reason.
I hate that game.
I don't think they're ever going to go back to that. I don't think Nintendo wants to go back to that. The story. I mean, I don't know how they.
Yeah, they don't want to make that
the character of Samus. Oh my god.
They probably don't want to make that canon since they're doing Prime 4 right now, right? They probably don't want to mess around with that.
It's canon. Yeah, it's canon in the way that it was basically like a sequel to. It takes place between Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion.
Correct.
So it is canon as far as the series combined.
Yeah,
like the Prime series is its own thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's just because of Adam, who was the computer in Metroid Fusion, and then they had to make him a very important character in Other M, and that's why it will remain canon for all foreseeable future.
Ooh.
Until it gets retconned like Dragon Ball Z, or like
it could. You never know, man. Jose says GBA should come to Nintendo Switch, and tomorrow it's my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Jose! And yes, Game Boy Advance should absolutely come to the Switch. They should bring all of their legacy systems to the Switch for under Nintendo Online.
I love it, dude. I'm such a huge Game Boy Advance collector. I've been messing with it a bunch again lately. Now that I have an HDMI GameCube setup.
Yeah, that Eon Adapter is awesome.
Oh my gosh! And so there's so much stuff like Golden Sun. I say this all the time. I want Golden Sun. I want Advanced Wars. I want those on Switch.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything should come over to their online service, because if they did that, eventually they could probably charge $6 a year, and people would actually be okay with that.
Yeah. But I think Nintendo, for the moment, want to focus on the big titles. Like we still don't have a Mario Kart. We still don't have a new Paper Mario. Pikmin 4. Where's that game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was supposed to have been done, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Unless it was Hey Pikmin. But
maybe there you go. Maybe they'll show it at this next Direct. There you go. Dragon says, do any of you know what's happening with Pillars of Eternity 2 for Switch? Was slated for holiday last year, was no show. Still no release date. I'm not sure.
Weren't they having troubles as a studio? Where they're not financial, but they were saying that they were trying to restructure.
I thought they pushed that. I feel like the Deadfire got pushed. If I'm not thinking right.
It looks like it's going to be February. Oh wait, never mind.
There it is. It's now releasing in 2019 on Switch. So it got pushed. That was second week in December. They pushed it to next year. Yeah.
Oh, these screenshots. Ooh.
That's done by Obsidian, though. Yep. But a lot of people really like that game. I never got into the Pillars of Eternity stuff. Really like that game, though. Cool. So we'll come back to the super chats at probably about 40 minutes from now, before we finish up with some Q&A and stuff and go through. So let me ask you guys about Persona 5R. It was shown very briefly. They basically did an announcement for an announcement. March, we'll find out more. They didn't really tell us anything other than they showed us a PlayStation logo. So I guess it's coming to the Vita. And it's
Vita.
Better be.
I think you mean the new PlayStation Portable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming. It's coming out in March. We just know it's coming to the PS4 most likely. For now,
we don't need Persona R. We need Persona S.
Well, so
5S.
So I'm gonna float a conspiracy theory. I've seen a lot of people saying this, and I actually agree with it, which is that I think Persona R is going to turn out to be like a VR expansion.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, or something PlayStation focused. And separately, we are going to get Persona 5 on the Switch, but I do think it's going to be called S.
Persona 5S, I'm okay with that. Yeah, Persona 5R as a VR thing would be trippy. I don't know how that would that. Persona 5 looks weird enough on the TV. I don't know how that would look in VR.
I feel like people have done some mock-ups, and one of the things is that since that game has such a circular art style, like your combat, everything is so circular, in a way, I think it would make sense visually. Like when you're in it, interacting with objects or doing combat, it would look pretty cool if it works.
So would it be a first-person view, or do you think you would be able to observe the characters and stuff?
No, so on my own shot, our guess is that it'll be a first-person, and it may probably just be like one more extra crazy dungeon that you spend like 10 hours in.
Okay. That'd be interesting. So they're not gonna. You don't think they'll sell it as a whole new SKU or anything? It'll just be an add-on to Persona 5, or like a $20 thing.
I think it may be its own SKU, but I think it'll probably be called it'll be like an inside the mind of Joker, like we go into his mind palace or something. I don't know.
So pretty much Persona 5 with an expansion.
Yes, exactly. But sort of like the Far Cry New Dawn thing, this standalone DLC thing is clearly making a bunch of money for people. So I think that's what it may be. It's just like a standalone expansion.
Okay. Maybe it's like a VR as an option because you can still play the new missions and stuff not in VR too. Because I don't know how much Japan is into the whole VR type of thing. Persona's Japan, so I don't think they do both. I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, if they did Persona in VR, I mean, I'd try it somehow. I want to play it somehow. So
hey man, PlayStation VRs keep dropping in price, dude. They were so cheap over the holiday season. It was crazy.
You need games.
VR streaming is so fun to watch. OJ, if you stream a Persona VR, if that ends up being real, if you stream it, I will donate. That would be so fun, man.
Yeah, not wait to get it though. Then there we go. I got to get it now.
if you stream it, we're gonna have the chat in the visor so you can see it while it's going. It's kind of neat. It's kind of cool.
That sounds like I'm gonna get a headache.
You do, yeah. It's short term. There's videos of people vomiting and stuff on screen from just having chat in their eyes for hours.
It's dependent. I mean, it depends. Some people aren't really affected by VR like that. Some people are. So it's you have to basically go try it out and see what you think. But VR, I still think has a long way to go.
I played VR.
Man. Oh, okay.
I played at E3 a few years. I played it at E3, and I was just doing all this stuff, because Sony puts you at E3. It was E3 2015 or 2016. I forgot which one I played it at, 2015 or something. Sony would you had to walk all the way up these stairs to get to the top to play it, and people were just over there, just oh wow. So you just see people in the air just playing in VR. That's what I was doing. The line was hella long, 2 hours, 2-3 hours to play some stupid VR game. But yeah, I played. I mean, it seems cool enough. It's just not my thing. But yeah, if they did Persona VR, I'd try it. I'd try it at least. So
okay. Yeah, it'd be interesting just to see how it looks. That's my biggest thing, is how it actually looks when you're playing it, because those kind of visuals, I don't know. I mean, it probably run really well because it basically was a PS3 game that they moved over to the PS4, but it'd be interesting. That'd be cool. I mean, what if it's not that, Max? Do you think it's just them adding on to the story, or just more content and putting it out again?
If it's not that, this is a huge expansion. Okay. I think it may be more stories, more dungeons, sort of the way I'm going to make a weird analogy, but LA Noire, where LA Noire much later on did extra cases that take place before the game ended. It could be that of here's some extra cool activities that took place during the story.
Yeah, I mean, they sell well, whenever these different games come out that are basically tack on to the older game. Yeah, that would sell well. So yeah, why not? Why not? But yeah, what do you guys think about Persona 5S, and if that's a Switch thing that's coming out anytime soon?
Let me say this. My main concern about not having a Nintendo Direct next week is mostly tied to the fact that they are not ready to show Joker gameplay in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and that Persona 5S will likely then be a fall release. That's the feeling I have, because they want to focus on the Persona R stuff now in March, and then they want to bring when that is out, come at E3, and or pretty much with the April Direct. If we have one now in January, that would be a perfect moment to bring it up.
Okay. I thought it was weird that they did the Persona 5R announcement for when you can find out more information. It seemed weird that they wouldn't have just told us about it now, unless they literally don't have anything ready for it. But then I don't know why you would have announced it. It's almost like they maybe have something else to announce later, a Persona 5 game on another platform, maybe. Who knows? People are very people are I think people would be surprised if it showed up on the Switch. If you look online, a lot of people do not think it's possible for Persona 5 to leave the PlayStation.
So here's the thing I feel like people need to kind of put in the back of their minds, which is that we don't know if there's an exclusivity contract for certain, but what we do know is that Persona 5 is by far the highest selling Persona ever now. And I think they want to keep that rolling. Like once you've managed to find your gold mine, you port it and port it and port it. It's like Skyrim syndrome. Put it everywhere.
Yeah, they put Skyrim on. They put it on the Alexa, Amazon Alexa. So why not, right?
Yeah. And one thing we can't forget in this context is that Shin Megami Tensei 5 is on the development for Nintendo Switch, and I think that Persona 5S would be a perfect build-up this year if Shin Megami Tensei 5 is coming out next year in 2020 for Atlas. Perfect. They would sell so many copies of Persona 5 on the Nintendo Switch. Obviously, you have the exclusivity thing, but now for Smash Brothers, that is the first step. Next one is to bring a port to the Nintendo Switch, maybe not with the R stuff, but just the regular Persona 5 game, and then next year Shin Megami Tensei 5.
It was interesting that they put Smash cross Persona 5 rather than Smash cross Persona Q2 or something when they showed Joker. So they made sure to point that one out.
I mean, I think that's just because the character is more known for Persona 5 than Persona Q.
Yeah, that's the point everyone always makes right now is that Persona Q2 is why Joker's in there, and it's like, well, they said Persona 5, so okay.
They could have mentioned Persona Q2, like even like if you go on like the Nintendo's like announcements on the Nintendo Switch news page, like they could have mentioned Persona Q2, but it doesn't seem like anybody's in a rush to port Persona Q2 or talk about. It doesn't like Nintendo or Alice are in a rush to do anything with that game. So
the real question is if Persona 5 comes to the Switch, can we get Sean to actually play it then?
I mean, if I get a review copy, it just depends. Like there are games that I want to play, and there are games I still want to play. But it's just like if I have like work related stuff going on, like review copies and shit, like I just end up forgetting about the game, and like I'll go back in time and finish up a game or play a game or something like that. I mean, it's a series that I know nothing about, so that's why I never talk when we talk about Persona, because I've never played a Persona. I don't know anything about it. I would love
to see your take on it just because of that. Like you've never played any of these weird Japanese Persona style games or anything, because there were some really weird ones back in the day.
I feel like I have, because I've played. I'm trying to think of like a weird JRPG that maybe I've played that would surprise you.
Did you play Nocturne?
No.
Did you play Digital Devil Saga?
I've played some Shin Megami Tenseis. I played what was the one? Strange Journey, I think it was called. Okay. On the DS.
Yeah, I mean, no, you got to play these ones. These ones are like, for example, in Digital Devil Saga, the idea is that you are cannibals and you have to eat other people to get stronger.
Mm-hmm. Or you're a teenager who shoots itself in the head to
Persona 3, you have to commit suicide. Well, I want to see Sean, because Sean, one of the biggest things, and you're gonna laugh when you hear this, a big part of it is that everybody basically, that there's characters you can date throughout the course of the game, and people in the fan base debate who the best girl to date is. So it's like a super serious RPG with like this crazy epic tale, and people just argue like, all right, which one of these girls is the hottest?
Wow.
So you'll love that, Sean. I can't wait to see Sean be like, look, man, this is the best girl, all right? Don't get in my face.
It's an interesting setup and story, though. I think you'd actually like it, Sean. It's very, very long. Like Persona is going to take you 100 hours to beat it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Minimum.
Yeah, and the main problem with that game is that it's a big investment, big time investment, and you first get the payoff after like 50, 60 hours.
Yeah, it takes a lot. Like it's one of those games where people always tell you they're like, it gets good after 25 or 30 hours. That's actually Persona 5. Like it gets good after 20.
I'd say it gets amazing that long in. I think it's good early on, but yeah, you're right in that. Like when it fully, like you seriously see a tutorial screen about 25 hours in, it's like, all right, here's how your clan reputation works.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's worth checking out though if it shows up there. Otherwise, get it on the PS4 and play. I think it'd be an easier game to play on your Switch though, just because a lot of people prefer RPGs on portable systems if you're watching TV or something.
And
yeah,
the
the whole
safe-
balance of that game when it comes to the daily chores that you do, and then also the action gameplay, it will work perfect. You can play in short sessions, and yes, it will take a long time to complete, but at least you will have a feeling of progression, and that's great.
Yeah, so I would check it out, Sean, if it shows up there. Especially since you went away on for Christmas break, and you said you played a lot of like offline games and stuff while you're there. That's like the offline game to play. Like that is it right there. You could spend so long playing that game.
Pretty much over Christmas break, like I was playing games that I haven't played. I actually played both Doom and Wolfenstein for the first time since those patches came out because I wanted to see how they looked.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's Sean, you know the MadBox, right? That MadBox stuff?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that for a second?
I mean, it's weird because first off, it's Slightly Mad Studios, which is a company that has literally only made racing games. You would know them from
Project Cars 2.
Project Cars 2. They did a Need for Speed as well. But now they're wanting the CEO of the company is making the MadBox, which is going to rival the PlayStation and the Xbox, or the PlayStation 5 and the next Xbox. It'll release in 3 years. It's going to have 60 frame per second per eye VR. It's going to have no exclusives because they don't care about exclusives, and it's never going to come out.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, did you see the mock-ups of it?
Yeah, I saw them today.
They look like PCs.
Well, that's what the guy said, and he was like, "Well, when you take away, when you strip down a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One, they're essentially PCs."
Yeah, but like you look at it and they glow all different colors and stuff. And if you look at something like the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, which are designed to go under your TV and entertainment center, they're very minimalistic if you look at it like head on. That's on purpose because you don't want this big glowing orange little creature thing on the side of your console that just makes the entire room glow orange or something. That's for people who want to build a PC and put it on their desk and show it off. If you get a little box, you're just getting it because you want to put it in the living room. And
well, the weird thing is, like, one of the things he was harking on, if you read the Variety write-up, because I guess he emailed Variety and told them about stuff, was how he felt that console gaming was a monopoly right now. And it's like, no, like, you have Sony does their thing, great first party exclusives and all the third party support. Microsoft doesn't have the first parties, but they do things in a different manner with shit like Games Pass and stuff like that. It's very unique. And then Nintendo is just like in the other side of the room, just like doing whatever the fuck they want to do. It's like it's not a monopoly. Like, if anything, the GameCube, Xbox, and PlayStation 2 era was more of a monopoly because all those systems were doing the exact same games and the exact same things, and everything about them was the same except the exclusives. And then you don't even want exclusives on your platform. So it's like,
you're not going to sell very well, but that's basically a Steam box he's describing.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking about. It was just like, okay, is he going to sell all his games for Steam on this system? Just that he's going to make it so you connect it to the TV and pay a little bit less than you would for a gaming PC. People have tried that before, but
here's the best part, because there's a twist to the story.
All right, I'm ready for this.
All right, get ready for this one. He's posting on Twitter, right? And guess who pops in underneath him that says, "I want in"?
Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy shows up and is like, "I want in." So what do you think happens here when he says that kind of stuff, right? He shows up. You assume something's going on right away. Maybe the guy that's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get Soldier Boy in." He proceeds to troll Soldier Boy instead. He starts posting pictures of him on his yacht with a bunch of women flying through like the water. Like, Soldier Boy posts a picture of him with stacks of money. The CEO posts a picture below him with a bunch of money. It's like, what? Okay.
I want to know how that CEO has that much money.
When he posted the yacht, I was like, "Oh, really? Oh, okay."
Because
I didn't know Project Cars was that lucrative, but all right.
It wasn't. It was the first game sold pretty good. The second game, I remember it being a flop. And you look at their gaming pedigree; it's not like they've had a bunch of huge games.
So, some of these dudes, I can tell you for a fact, some of these dudes get rich off making failed games where they get investor money to create it. They don't sell any copies, but they still got paid by that investor money.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what Project
They might,
was.
they
The
might
first
also
one.
have stock portfolios too. I mean, if you look at like Cliffy B, he's got all sorts of stuff, that he does. Like he gets a bulk of money, he invests it, and then they make more money off of other things, and they just don't talk about stuff like that. So
It's interesting they want to do a system costs a lot of money. So it's interesting that they want to invest in that. I don't know. I don't see that going very well unless they get some studios.
It is also good publicity stunt, if anything, for the next game. Like,
Yeah, apparently they said they're talking to Nvidia also, which is weird.
And AMD, I thought.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that. Apparently they're going to design a whole board, and it's not going to be like modular parts or anything like that. So
is this going to? So I have not. I've been out of the office for a long time, so I haven't seen anything about this. So he's basically trying to sell us like the first VR specific console. That's the idea. Is it just for VR? No, not even that.
He mentioned VR, but
he mentions VR, but it's an all inclusive console that's gonna be amazing.
It sounds it's not focused enough. Like it just sounds like too wide of a net.
Let's move on from that. Let's go to a few Discord questions that Evan sent over. Let's see. Oh, there's actually a couple of them. Here we go. This one's from Gary. Says saw some screenshots of Streets of Rage 4. What Nintendo or Sega games would you like to see sequels to, or actual games remastered from 8-bit to Dreamcast and GameCube?
Skies of Arcadia.
Yeah, exactly.
Skies of Arcadia.
They were going to
Xenosaga.
Yeah,
all the sixth generation is dope. Give me all the best sixth generation.
So I'll give you a good one. That's the first Metal Gear Solid.
I'll give you a better one, Metal Gear Solid 3.
I'll give you a better one.
yeah.
There we go.
Are you trying to say Metal Gear Solid 3 is better than the original Metal Gear Solid, like the PS1 game?
Yeah.
So what about Twin Snakes? You're trying to tell me that Metal Gear Solid 3 is better than Twin Snakes because that's the remake of the original one.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
it is.
and
this is coming from someone who literally at one point in his life got a sketch done for a foxhound tattoo on his arm. Like I was a huge diehard Metal Gear Solid fan.
Metal Gear Solid 3 the subsistence or whatever. You talk about that one?
I mean, you can talk about any Metal Gear Solid 3. Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater as a game is a better game than the original Metal Gear Solid.
I can say that I personally have more fun with the first game, but I can definitely agree that the third game is the best.
That is the best ending.
Like the camo system, the story, the only thing that was weak, the only thing that I will definitely give Metal Gear Solid 1 the benefit of the doubt is in the like sub bosses. Like the sub bosses, Psycho Mantis, Vulcan Raven, they were much more interesting than what you had in Metal Gear Solid 3 with like the fear and crap like that. But I think overall, Metal Gear Solid 3, I mean, Metal Gear Solid 3 is a game that you can still play. I've played it a billion times, but I can still play it and find a codec that I didn't know about, or find something that I didn't know about, or trigger a certain sequence. Like that game was just next level.
You ever done a no-kill run where you beat the whole game without killing anybody?
No, I've tried.
It takes so long, dude. It takes so long.
It had the best character in like the entire series too in that game.
The boss?
The boss, yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome. Oh my gosh.
Young Ocelot. I love the Young Ocelot too.
Yeah,
so cool to see his progression as a character.
I
just love Boss how she keeps just ripping your gun apart. You see her like 5 times. She every time just dismantles your gun. I love that. That's such a good like
Get
gimmick.
the fuck out of here. Get out of here, you little bastard.
Twin Snakes had the best cutscenes though. That's the one where like Snake like flips off a rocket and
That's
like,
what I was about to say, or when he Matrix jumps away from
it. That's the best cutscenes. You just go on YouTube and watch it. Someone compiled a whole thing like compilation of all the cutscenes. Just go watch that. That's the best part of the game.
The day that came out, my friend bought a GameCube and brought it over to my house, and we just beat it. And the whole time we were so into the Matrix at the time, we were just like, "Oh my god!"
Oh man,
that game was great because it was cheaper too when it launched.
I think it was like $40, right? Yeah,
it's more expensive now than it is then.
Yep.
Yeah. It was $40, and Konami missed out on money because they would have got 60 for me easily.
That was the X collection's more expensive now than it was then too. The X collection was like $30 when it came out. I thought on the GameCube.
Yeah.
It was like 40. It was 30 or 40. It's much more expensive now on the GameCube than it was then.
Then maybe we could get a Metal Gear collection on the Switch, just in a classic style.
Konami
Just
missed out.
port-
They gave us something really bad. What did they give us? It was something really dumb that they gave us.
That track and field game.
Oh my gosh! When it was like a compilation game is coming, and I was like, "It's Metal Gear Solid," and then it shows up and it's track and field. I'm like, "What is this?"
I mean, the thing of it is like they've done, standard, HD upreses of the games before. Just port it. To me, a Metal Gear compilation would be like an Arkham City thing. I don't need anything extra. I just want to play this game wherever I go, and like I will be a happy camper. Like,
Yeah, but see, what do you include with it? Do you throw in Twin Snakes, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, and Peace Walker, or do you just do 2 and 3 with Peace Walker?
probably 2 and 3 in Peace Walker, because it seems like they never touch Metal Gear Solid 1.
I would like to think that's because they're going to do a massive remake of it or something, but that's probably wishful thinking right there.
In the Metal Gear Survive engine.
Oh no,
no, especially not with that gameplay.
I mean, they could do 1, 2, and 3 and have Twin Snakes on it, and that for 1, and then that will be the big drawing point for people. Is like, oh, you could finally play Twin Snakes, again. So like, I feel like that would be a drawing point for people to want to pick that up.
Yeah, like I just hope that Konami is beyond that pachinko stage.
Yeah.
Ready to start talking again or bringing something of Metal Gear or Castlevania. But Metal Gear will never be the same again after Kojima left and moved on to better things.
Well, I mean, in all truth, it's not like Metal Gear really was what it used to be even under Kojima. I mean, look at Metal Gear Solid 5. What the fuck was that?
Well, it was rushed. So come on.
Yeah, the ending
It
was
was
definitely
working on the
rough.
game for like 5 years and it was still rushed.
It was rushed. Oh, well, because there was like 2 parts. It was like Ground Zeroes, and it was like Metal Gear Solid.
The ending, you could tell like he was getting kicked out or something was happening. You could tell at the end. It was so rushed, but like 4 was really good too. And that was still done.
Oh, 4 was amazing. To me, the series died when Hader left, or they kicked him out as the voice actor of Snake.
Yeah.
That was when everything went to shit for me. I was like, okay, piss off. Like, I don't want Queefer Sutherland here.
But that's
doing
also
the
when
voice.
things started going downhill for Konami pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
Let me go on to the next question here. Do you think Bethesda can come back from the Fallout 76 mess, or are they tainted forever?
Yes. I am hoping so. I think as soon as they come out and show us some Elder Scrolls 6 footage, everybody's going to instantly forget.
But it has to be. We agree it has to be at least good, right? Like they cannot. Yeah. People are they're going to be like looking under like a magnifying glass for anything bad. So
for the first time ever with a Bethesda game,
right? Yeah.
But like now more than ever, now it's like.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like Fallout games and Elder Scrolls games have always been buggy as hell. I remember playing Oblivion on my Xbox 360, and I was like 30-40 hours into the game, and I did a side quest that ended up glitching my game and ruining my save file, and there was nothing I could do about it.
I think what they're going to do is, so I've been monitoring a lot of the social media of Bethesda. All their people are silent right now. All their PR people, all the developers, everybody just went silent other than these like automated messages that pop up occasionally like, hey, a new patch is coming. I think that it's going to stay that way until E3, and then they're going to come out with like some big Elder Scrolls 6 like, hey, please stop hating us.
I thought Starfield was next.
Is it? If Starfield's coming up next, my fear is that Starfield at best is going to look half as good as the Outer Worlds. Like Outer Worlds looks so perfect.
It looks much more focused.
Yeah,
but this is the problem I have with Bethesda these days, and that is that they lost some of the passion. They're just bringing out new games because they have to bring out new games. And Starfield is an attempt to create something new, something that they can be excited about, because Fallout is just, okay, another Fallout game. The same goes with Elder Scrolls. And I just feel like they need to reignite the passion within Bethesda, because Fallout 76 was just a product of greed. Let's face it.
Well, so I can confirm from people I've gotten to talk to who actually worked on Fallout 76, they thought that was the best game they've ever made.
Oh man,
that's baffling to us on the outside, but everybody inside of Bethesda thought that game was perfect. And it's so weird because like from the outside, it's like, how? Like, how did you not see that this was a giant empty sandbox? But so I think that it's just that Bethesda doesn't know what they're doing straight up.
Really? Bethesda doesn't know what they're doing?
Like how? Like they no longer have a taste test. You know, they can't determine their own barometer of how is this project going. Like they don't have that outside vision anymore.
I think
that was a serious question. I was because I know you have ties to Bethesda. So I mean, is that really the attitude in it? Like, really?
That's my thought. Everybody inside thinks that it's smooth sailing. Everybody thinks, man, we're making more money, we're getting more success, we're putting out less games and having higher sales. Like everything's winning. So I think this is the first time where they're agreeing, like, oh no, like we're not invincible.
So would you say that Bethesda has the Ubisoft syndrome?
Yes, the Ubisoft syndrome of 2013, though, or sorry, 2012, when they were trying to do the online pass. I think they're having that right now, where they've gotten so big and so powerful, they think that they can just make these really dumb moves and get away with it.
Watchdogs, Assassin's Creed 4. No, not 4. I mean, Unity, of course.
Yeah.
All I know is Doom Eternal looks awesome, so I'll just look forward to that. Look forward to that.
Switch.
What about our next question? What do you guys think about the passive walking patent from Nintendo?
It's gonna be another nothing.
Yeah, I don't think I think it's just something in their R&D department. They're like, they just sent it out. And
Wait till the
it's just like
vitality
saddle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about patents like that too much.
Sometimes it's funny looking. Like, can you imagine that like coming out in 5 years and that's part of Labo?
Yeah, that's probably what it's gonna be. I mean.
Dude, Labo can straight up walk. That'd be insane.
You wake up. Yeah, your Switch is walking out. You're like, get back in here.
Oh man, that'd be crazy. And the last question, actually, this might be a good one for OJ. I think when input delay is a big thing for Smash Bros, should it be better to play always undocked? The physical connected Joy-Cons are much more faster than the GameCube controller.
Okay, he's trying to talk. I don't know if that's the case. First of all, the problem with that is that Joy-Con, the buttons for just like if you're trying to like short hop and you're trying to do certain inputs, Joy-Cons are not the best controller. It'd be very tough to get used to using the Joy-Cons for like short hopping and things. So really, I think that's dependent on each person. But I don't really think that there's too much of a difference when you're talking about like the input delay and everything from using the Joy-Cons compared to using a control like a wired controller. I don't really think there's much of a difference at all, and I don't think the trade-off of using the Joy-Con buttons are that being that small and everything. I don't think that's necessarily a thing. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And then this is a good question, I think, for Max and I, because I know we played God of War quite a bit. I don't know if Conrad, if you played God of War a lot, but I just recently started God of War. I'm not far past the fight with the stranger. Any tips for a noob? Skills I should focus on learning, etc. I would say focus on maxing out Atreus as soon as possible.
Yes, surprisingly, yeah. That's the biggest problem I had is Atreus learns stuns and stuff, so he'll actually help you in tougher fights.
Yes,
and also there are a lot of optional puzzles early on. Stop and do them. A lot of them only take 30 seconds. You will need the bonuses.
Yeah, because eventually Atreus just starts smacking people around. Like he will start stunning. He has moves that'll like chain lightning to get chain attacks together, and it starts hitting everyone. And he makes life a lot easier. It's one of those few cases where the entire thing's technically an escort mission, but the escort is actually able to take care of themselves. So,
have you seen people been glitching the game out and doing stuff and showing like how well programmed he is? You can see his like crazy headshots and stuff.
Yeah.
And like he magnetizes to you when you start climbing. It cracks me up.
Yep. Cool.
I mean, escorts do have to take care of themselves. You know?
Sean ain't gonna.
What do we?
You're losing it, man.
Let me go to. Did I almost make you spit your drink out? Actually,
No, I snorted a little bit.
Let me go over to EA. I think a lot of people saw this was from OJ. This was from Doctor81, right?
Yeah.
Spotted that it looked like EA was moving over SDKs to the Switch. There's a lot of people assuming that meant the Frostbite engine.
Well, yeah, because the same programmer in that his LinkedIn profile talks about the games, like talks about the game, like Battlefield and stuff in terms of what he's worked on. So it seems like Doc always finds, has good finds on LinkedIn about certain things, and then I go in there, my LinkedIn account, and I try to find it as well, and it always comes through. So we'll see. It's looking pretty cool. I mean, if they do get more stuff over, I mean, I'm not a huge EA fan myself, so I probably won't be buying anything. But I know there's a lot of people that want to be able to play Madden, the Frostbite Madden, or play Frostbite FIFA, or play what else is on Frostbite? Need for Speed. That's on Frostbite. And also there was a guy, Noah, he runs Gamer Splash. He said that he talked to one of the guys from EA just a bit ago. One of the I forgot who it was, but he said that he hinted that Burnout Paradise, they'd probably be, that'd be a game that'd be coming.
I was surprised it didn't come over in the first place. That would actually make sense for Burnout to be the game they'd work on.
See, now that's where I'm going to bring this full circle. Is that the guy's LinkedIn said it worked on engineering SDK for Switch, and I think it's for previous SDK. So a game like Burnout would come over because the remaster didn't come over when it came to the PS4 and Xbox One. So I think that's really what the LinkedIn profile was indicating.
I don't know if Burnout uses Frostbite.
It doesn't.
Okay. It
uses older engines, and I think that's what that LinkedIn profile was kind of talking about. It'd be like, so if they wanted to bring Burnout or even a remaster of, let's say, just say like Mass Effect Trilogy for some reason, and it's still based on that same engine, I think that's what the LinkedIn profile was mostly talking about. Because in the same profile, the guy also said he's maintaining the SDK for the PS4 and Xbox One, which would include Frostbite. And he doesn't mention that he's also maintaining that same development kit for the Switch. It was just that he engineered to bring over previous software development kits to Switch.
Well, another interesting thing that came out from that was on Reset Era, one of the, I think it was like a separate developer from DICE actually went there because somebody came and said, well, I don't believe this, like, why would they announce this from this studio or this guy or whatever? And one of the developers actually came there and explained, like, well, we have teams all over the place. Like, it doesn't make sense to keep an engine just in Sweden or wherever that they're located at. We have teams working on it because of the work schedule. So even when somebody tried to come and dispute what was being said there, that one of the guy, an actual developer from DICE, went over there and said no.
Yeah,
said that. So I mean, that was interesting too.
Yeah, it was something like the guy in Era was. It was, why was this engineer working? I think it was out in California. He's like, why would he have access to Frostbite? And the guy from DICE came in and said, well, he's like, we're a big company. The engine is in all different aspects of EA, so it's not just stuck, within our development.
Yeah, and there's different time zones. So basically, it's almost to have somebody able to help or be there for Frostbite, if anytime during the day.
They need to put Madden on the damn Switch.
That's what I was gonna say, Sean. You talked about that before. This
is ridiculous. Like, come on now. Like, just put Madden on the day. If you could put FIFA on the Switch, put Madden on the Switch. Like,
you see, it's a tough topic because I agree with you. Madden should be on the Switch, but if I'm EA, FIFA is worldwide.
Yeah.
Madden is North America, and what am I going to get?
Okay,
500,000 sales? Is it worth that investment?
Like, if you go to any European country, like soccer is, it's pretty much what football is for you in America. And the thing is that you can't imagine how big FIFA is in Europe. It's like GTA 5 level sales. So
we know. We see. Yeah. we know.
Yeah,
and
FIFA sells.
It's because of us Europeans that it's at all coming to to the Switch.
Like, FIFA sells 20 million copies. Madden tops out at 8.
But I feel like where there's a will, there's a way. Like, I just feel like it needs to be on there. It's one of those games that should be on there. I mean, it's like NBA 2K isn't breaking huge records, but on the Switch, but it's selling well enough to where 2K seems to be happy with it, and they're making yearly versions. I feel like if you have a small team focused on the Switch version, then it could be worth your while. I don't know.
Well,
to me, it's just one of those games that it seems stupid that it's not on there.
Sorry.
I was going to say
it's complex in the sense that I view it as, if I'm EA, it's going to cost me, let's say, $10 million to port Frostbite to Switch and get it adequately running.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to make Madden. I sold 250,000 copies in North America. That wasn't worth my time, wasn't worth the investment. It was a wasted project. Now people say, well, you can do future games. But if the engine is anyway compromised, where the titles are not a good frame rate, not a good resolution, then it's just, there's no reason to do it.
They can make a custom version of Madden, just like they did with with FIFA and they had success. So.
I mean, couldn't they use the FIFA engine at least as a groundwork as far as AI and it's. I'm not trying to say that football and football are the same thing, but I feel like there's enough there in terms of AI and your field and things like that to sort of build that as a groundwork.
I think one of the problems is that Nintendo assisted EA with FIFA.
Yeah, that's
true. Will Nintendo come in and help EA build a custom engine for a Madden? They haven't stepped forward to do that yet. And I think that might be the issue. If I was EA, I'd say, let's make an NBA Street. Let's make an NFL Street for Switch. Mm-hmm. Let's not go with the normal Madden. Let's make something a little more arcadey.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're not doing any. I mean, let's just be real though. I mean, EA is taking quite a while. Like, I mean, come on, we're at 30 million systems or whatever at this point, or however much they're at. I mean, whereas most of the other third-party developers have done more than like EA's literally done like nothing on the Switch. I mean, because if you can't account for Nintendo helping with that, they've literally done nothing, and they're really slow compared to other companies.
Not exactly. We had Fair, we had FIFA,
but that wasn't done because EA wanted to do it. That was done because the developers, they even said, well, we want it on the Switch. EA said, okay. But it's not like EA was like supportive towards that or anything. They've literally done what I said. That's why I said they've literally done nothing. Like, you got any developer that already wanted to make a game and put the game on Switch. And it looked like the Switch owners would like that type of game. So they did it. But outside of that, what else there's literally been, there's nothing.
I mean, yeah, they didn't even bring Unravel 2 to Switch, a game that's perfect for Switch.
The characters are the color of the Joy-Con.
Right. I mean, it was perfect for local play. You had the Joy-Cons. It was the perfect fit for Switch. And EA still said no.
Yeah. It probably would have sold well, better than the Xbox version, I think.
Hey, I bought it on the Xbox.
So my train of thought is that it'd be worth the investment, because at this point we have to face facts. The Switch is going to be around more years now than the PlayStation 4. Like, the PlayStation 4 is obviously getting phased out. The Xbox One is being phased out. We're about to see the PlayStation 5 and everything. So if you put in the money to invest developing more stuff for Switch, those engines are going to make you money long.
It really comes down to how many Switch systems are in the US right now.
Mm-hmm.
How many do we think we thought it was north of 8 million?
Well, they announced in December it was what, 8.4?
Yeah.
So it's coming up on 10 million, and I assume at that point EA goes, oh, maybe.
I mean, I know we're all going to blame EA, but I think we should also hold Nintendo a little responsible for this. Is that the Wii U was such a disaster that when the Switch was coming out, EA looked at it and said, we're not committing anything to you because we gave you Madden, we gave you Mass Effect. We kind of tried on the Wii U, for like a week. And it was a disaster.
I had both of those games too.
Those games were worse than the Xbox. That was another problem. Those games were worse than the Xbox 360 version, and yet Wii U was supposed to, I mean, at least minimum on par. They weren't even on par, with them. So that was the problem with some of.
It didn't help that they came out with Mass Effect 3 on Wii U, and then they announced the Mass Effect Trilogy for Xbox and PS3 at a lower price that came out like a week before.
They put Need for Speed on there too, didn't they?
Yeah,
and that was actually a very good version of Need for Speed because it used the PC textures and not the PS3 textures.
And it didn't sell that well.
No, it sold like shit because it came out so late. It came out early in the system when the system wasn't selling, but it came out late compared to the other versions of the game, which were on sale for like $20 at the time.
You can get them for 20. Yeah, you can get the Need for Speed games for $20 on PS4 and Xbox One or PS3.
I think that developers are finally learning the lesson that in order to sell on the Switch, you need to pretty much release the Switch port at the same time as everyone else, because otherwise it's just going to be put out there to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Nintendo had to go get FIFA pretty much. They had to go to EA and said, we want to put FIFA on here. Let's do it. So,
I mean, luckily for them, it has worked out. It has sold.
Yeah, but maybe Nintendo will be like, all right, let's go get Madden because we're coming up on 10 million in the US. Let's do that now.
I don't know, man. I don't know why they have to go out there and try to get it. I mean,
because casual sell system. I mean, there's a lot of people who just buy Madden.
No. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be on there. I'm saying EA should just want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should just be something that they want to do, in my opinion. But
if Nintendo has to go to EA and beg for it, then I don't want it, because that sets a bad precedent of, oh, well, I'm Take-Two. You want Grand Theft Auto? Come beg me for it, Nintendo. Give me an incentive. No, your incentive, my hardware's selling. We have a base. Bring your game to it. If you don't want to bring the game to it, then the hell with you. We don't want your game. If EA doesn't want to bring Madden, then screw off. You don't want to bring Frostbite? Go to hell. And that's it.
Exactly.
Well, I guess it's just a fear from EA that they invest way too much into creating a specific Switch port, and then suddenly it doesn't sell.
Which I mean, that's fair considering how the Wii U was. But you would think with all these success stories and the system selling so well, it would just make a business sense. That's why I feel like you're going to see a lot of Western developers in 2019, at least games announced. But then again, I'm still surprised we didn't get Madden last year. But maybe this is the year.
A lot of
I don't even like football that much. It's just football games are weird to me. Like sometimes I'll literally just crave playing a football game. Like fuck, I really want to play a football game.
You got Mutant League Football.
I have it. I love that game. I think it's super fun. But while I'm playing that, see, to me, that's like arcade sports versus simulation sports games. Like I could play arcade basketball games all day, every day, but then I will be like, okay, I want to play some 2K now. Like I want to get serious. I want to run plays and shit like that. So that's just sort of how it works for me.
I should do Blitz the League again. I like that game.
That game wouldn't fly in today's era.
I know, right?
Christ.
It was
That
bad.
game was fucked. I loved it, but it was like, all right, you're hurt. Here, take some pain pills.
But it was
pain pills and shit.
But it was really fun though. It was a fun game. But
It
was very mature rated. Yes.
I remember playing Blitz. Like it reminded me kind of like what's that show like Playmakers or whatever too.
Yeah,
sometimes like it reminded me of that.
You should just play Mutant League Football. I mean, it's basically the same thing. You can kill the ref. You can kill the quarterback. It encourages you to do it.
Yeah, like there's specific plays. There's because the refs, you can pay off the refs, and the refs will start screwing you. So you have to kill the ref in order to get a new ref in there.
Here's a little idea. Nintendo take it. You remember we had Mario Strikers, and many would like to have a sequel. Imagine if they made an American football version of that.
That'd be interesting. I mean,
there was remember those concept arts that someone drew up many years ago? Those things were so beautiful.
Yeah, I think Next Level Games was exploring that, and Nintendo's like, nah.
I'd like to see. Probably because there's like tackle violence, and I mean, in Mario Strikers, you like straight up tackle people. So
you slide tackle people in that game. So
you can just straight up. You can like straight up tackle, like headbutt people with what was it? Y, I think.
And imagine the touchdowns.
Yeah. Oh man, that would. Yeah, I would like to see that, but definitely a Mario Strikers one, as long as it's not as bad as the Wii one. Make it the GameCube one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. How did it get worse? From like,
you could go in and you could score 8 goals at once by moving the Wii remote around. I'm like, Wii remote, that's what hurt it. That Wii remote.
Oh yeah, that's true. It just baffles me that it's like, oh yeah, and all of a sudden it got like significantly worse. It wasn't even that far from distance. It's like, what happened?
That's one thing. But the other thing was that Nintendo significantly lowered the difficulty settings on their sports games. Just look at Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games was of course not developed by Nintendo, but just look at the difficulty there is ridiculous. That's the thing that puts that franchise completely down. It could have been a good franchise if you had difficulty settings.
Let's go through some of these super chats here before we finish up. I'm looking forward to a My Friend Pager release date in the Direct. The game looks awesome and isn't coming to PS4, Xbox One, and I think Nintendo will look to promote it. I'm hoping for a physical release. I'm not sure.
That game is hilarious. I hope it comes there.
Okay. I don't think I've played that one. You said it's good?
It's basically like a physics shooter as like a joke. Like in one of the clips they showed is a guy threw it's like a 2D, so it's like from the side you see like a side view of like a hallway. I saw a guy throw a pan up in the air, shoot the pan, and a bullet ricocheted off and hit a dude in the head.
Is that on Steam? Yeah, check that out.
It's on Steam. I'm not sure it's out, but it's coming to everything. We haven't heard about it on Switch yet. It's really arcadey. It's very much like a side scroller version of Hotline Miami, but even weirder.
It looks like digital. Oh, Devolver Digital is putting it. It says platforms are Switch and Windows right now. Okay, there we go. That's from Trip and Fall. Thank you. Matthew says, does Nintendo and Square announce a Mario RPG 2?
It'd be pretty good.
I would say that'd be cool, but no, I don't think so.
What's happening?
Well, but it would be the perfect game for Square to make if they did a collab in the style of Mario plus Rabbids. Like, just look at the success that game had with Ubisoft, and Ubisoft probably would like to make more of that stuff because it sells unlike our other stuff.
Mario Rabbids did well, yeah. Actually, they really well.
And Ubisoft also did Starlink in this. I'm sure that Star Fox branding sold them so much.
It sold a lot more on the Switch than any other system.
Yeah, but Starlink selling a lot more on Switch was like selling 10 copies compared to 1.
Yeah, but it was pretty clear that Star Fox literally saved that game.
Yeah,
saved is a tough term to use here.
Well, like it was without Star Fox, that game would have been disastrous.
Yeah, it would have bombed worse than it did.
Yeah, it would have been really bad.
People didn't like this guy. This cool guy,
Sean, what's his name?
Captain Whitebread.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like, I recognize that.
Everyone bought Starlink for this.
Yeah,
everyone bought Starlink for this.
Almost like
Starlink just on sale for like $30 for like the $90 version.
It's almost like we need another Star Fox game or something. If only there was another Star Fox game that was being rumored from last year.
That's not even close to what Starlink is.
The thing of it was though, Starlink was really good on the Switch. Like I paid $80, whatever the hell it was, for the cool version, and I had no regrets of spending that much money. I was thoroughly satisfied with the game. I thought it was super fun. I loved the Star Fox stuff because it felt very integrated. It didn't feel tacked on. It felt like it should have been there from the start. So I had a blast with the game. But I could see people, picking up what it kind of reminded me of. You remember that game? I want to say it was called Spyborgs. It was done by Capcom on the Wii.
I remember that game.
It was supposed to be like this big deal, this big exclusive, and then it completely flopped. Like, it sort of reminded me of that.
Well, they completely retooled it. It was going to be something like completely different from what they first showed. And then it ended up being nowhere near, like there was going to be way more characters. I think there was going to be like 4 or 5 characters. Then ended up only being 2 characters that you're going to be able to use. And it just wasn't the type of game that they said it was going to be at the beginning, at least. So I remember that. I can see the comparisons that you're talking about there. But I think like the monetization options for that game, like how they decided to make their money, was complete. Like what drew people away. You know how many questions I got? Should I buy this? It's like $80. Like, why do I have to buy DLC weapons? Like the digital version's better. Like all the weird. Monetization options for there was stupid.
You basically had to get the digital version because if I remember correctly, some puzzles required certain elemental weapons. Yep. So literally, if you didn't have that gun because you didn't buy it, well, you're screwed, son.
Yep, I couldn't do anything with gravity guns at all because I never had them.
If they would have just made a normal game and put all the content in it and then just charge $60, and then if you want optional the toys, then you can do optional the toys. I think the game would have had a lot more success.
I think you're right. I think there was a lot of confusion at retail, but
yes,
I found the game kind of repetitive as well. But that's me.
I mean, it was, but
I loved it.
I loved it too.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite games the last.
Yeah, I know. I'm just a jerk to most games. So
I'm just going to say that Ubisoft, after making Starlink, gameplay-wise, they nailed it. And I think that they could definitely make a good Star Fox game. Just make sure that it's not as repetitive as Starlink was, and not turn it into a chore. Because these type of games are supposed to be fun and adventurous.
The biggest thing I want in the next Star Fox is that system where I can be on a planet and just straight up fly to the next planet and take on pirates in orbit, like all one thing. That's what No Man's Sky should have been. Make No Man's Star Fox.
Okay.
Stop making remakes of Star Fox 64. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Take on to some of these other ones before we finish. Did you try a left NES controller and a right Joy-Con in portable mode for 2D games? It's talking about the Nintendo online controllers I have. Is there any chance 8-Bit Do making their own left Joy-Con? Maybe. The problem with that is any of these companies that make a Joy-Con don't want to include all the stuff like HD Rumble and everything that goes into it. And I believe, oh no, that's the right one. The left one doesn't. I was going to say NFC stuff, but most of them don't want to get into that. That's why you have like the Hori one that doesn't have anything other than the D-pad that's on there. But technically you could do it, but the problem is because of how square that NES controller is, it's not very comfortable to hold while you're playing. So I don't recommend that.
But still, you can, in handheld mode, it's a pain. But I think that controller might get some steam following the launch of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe.
Yep, that's actually something I was thinking about. If it works, that would actually be a cool game to play it with. Which I'll see. I'll be checking out, I guess, this week coming up. But I
think Game Explain was trying it out with.
They tested it, yeah.
Okay, there you go. The Super Nintendo controller is what I'm hoping comes out. That would be cool to see. That would be insane because that would probably work with most Switch games almost than the 2D ones because it has the 4 face buttons. So that'd be pretty cool. Crease Pie says, "Why is Hideki Kamiya so aggressive on Twitter?"
Because he can be.
He blocked me a long time ago.
You know, he blocked me and then he unblocked me. So
Really?
he did.
He blocked me too, but then I asked for forgiveness from Blandrew, who got me forgive. He said, "Can you please unblock? Can you please unblock Player Essence? He really loves your work and talks about it." And then Camille was like, "Okay." I was like, "I'm free."
Somebody must ask for me then. I don't know because I didn't.
You probably had a bad day or something.
All right, everybody tell Jason Schreier to unblock me because that jerk still has me blocked.
How is he's not going to unblock you if you call him a jerk?
I know, right? This clip, people are going to send this clip to him. Dang it!
How did Sean? How is Sean not blocked by him yet?
I don't know, but I'm still blocked by Kamiya. Just
oh man, I'm not. I see him occasionally on Twitter.
Like I love that clip with Kamiya saying hello to everyone in America and especially all the cute babes. That opening is just so. Oh yeah, it sums up Kamiya perfect.
Braxton says, "Watch Nintendo throw a curveball at all of us and releases Super Mario Galaxy 3 for Switch." But for real, I want to see a Sonic Adventure remake. We can actually talk a bit about that Sonic Adventure remake here in a second. Let me go through a few more of these, and that'll be the last topic we end with. The Sonic Adventure.
It's going to be tied to the movies as both take place in San Francisco.
no.
Brian says, "Resident Evil Nemesis DLC or sequel?" I guess that's for Resident Evil Nemesis, RE Nemesis DLC or sequel. That's from Brian. I don't know if he's talking about for that Resident Evil remake that's coming out. If they add that as DLC or a sequel, I guess just full on like they remake 3. I guess. They
just remake it.
Yeah, they'd probably remake it, especially if this one does well. They're going to be remaking a lot of stuff. They actually mentioned that at one point that like Dino Crisis is apparently on the table from what a lot of people are saying. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And then Jay Senator says, "I desperately need a new Advanced Wars game, if not for Switch, at least for 3DS." Advanced Wars might become their next mobile game, to be honest. That's kind of what I'm picturing. Just
yeah, I don't want to, but you're probably right.
Though I think that franchise actually has potential on the Switch, especially what they're doing now with Fire Emblem, having big battlefields with tanks. I think that could have quite some appeal on the Switch.
Wishbone says, "If Slightly Mad Studios is joining the console market, why can't Sega? Their last one was in '99, long overdue. They have so many exclusive IPs. They have the IPs, but they don't have the manpower or the money, I guess, to do it."
Well, and also Sega makes so much money from so many directions now. Like they have a lot of their games are selling again really strong. They're still making a murdering in the arcade market. Like, why would they funnel that money into a console?
But don't forget they are making that Sega Classic system, and they cut out at games, so it might actually be good.
I'm gonna definitely get my name on the list for that.
Yep. So, well, they told us about it last year, and we still haven't heard anything since then. So, yeah. I like to think that they actually went back to the drawing board and they're like, "All right, we're gonna make this good, and we're gonna include 30 games, but they're gonna be like solid ports and games, and they're gonna be good."
Just hired the same company Sony did for the PlayStation Classic.
No, you know what they do? You know what they do? Oh. They get M2 involved, and M2 handles the ports and everything on that. That'd be insane. M2 is good, man. They would take care of that. Brian says, "Forget a new F-Zero. Next racing game is going to be Mario Kart for mobile." That we're supposed to get information about that soon.
Yeah, Mario Kart 2.
Yeah, we should have info on that soon. I that could actually work. I'll admit, with the gyro controls on like the accelerator or whatever on the.
I'm still telling you, we're going to be paying for gas. I guarantee that's what they're going to do.
They're going microtransaction, absolutely, because that's where they're making all their money now, as opposed to Mario Run not making them as much. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think that that game will be closer to the arcade versions of Mario Kart or Mario Kart 8?
That's a good question.
I played the arcade version recently for a long period of time, and definitely that in that less abilities, more cartoonish stuff, bigger explosions. That'll be easier to understand on a cell phone screen. So that's actually a good point.
Obsidian, David says Obsidian went for the throat with Outer World. You're absolutely right. Obsidian had a grudge with them after that Metacritic debacle, so I'm sure they loved showing that thing off with Fallout 76 getting beaten down as much as it was. Oh, they must have been popping champagne. They just got bought by Microsoft, and they're showing that game. Oh, that must have been a good day in the Obsidian office.
Oh yeah, the timing at the Game Awards was just perfect for them.
Yeah. Oh man, that must have been great because that game does look better than what Bethesda's doing right now. So
A lot of the Fallout YouTubers have stopped making Fallout videos and are just talking about Outer Worlds now.
oh man, and Obsidian will probably work with them much better too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. John says Xbox One backward compatibility better than Switch Online. If you do you mean like the I assume you mean the games.
Yes, just whatever he is meaning, I would say yes.
Yeah,
I mean, it is like
Xbox One backwards compatibility is amazing. Actually, if you go pop Final Fantasy 13 into your Xbox One X, it looks insane. Like it looks so much better. It's crazy.
Lost Odyssey as well looks great.
Yep,
on the Xbox.
that game was $6.75 the other day on the Xbox.
And the coolest thing about it, it's not only like you get that, but it's like they also make it better because like Xbox, like Lost Odyssey is 4 discs on the Xbox One.
Yep.
Or on the 360. You just need 1 disc and it downloads it from the internet or whatever. But I mean, that's just so much better. That game is such a pain in the butt to play. Like back then, like all those different discs, like swapping them back out and all that. Although, do they have the backwards compatibility? Is there Star Ocean 4 on there or not? Because that's a 3-disc game. I'm not sure.
I don't
think so.
think that one's on there yet. No.
I'm waiting for that one, and I'm definitely gonna replay because I know people hate that game, but I actually really like Star Ocean 4. So.
I think they put that. I think I just bought it. They just put that on PS4, right?
Star Ocean 4?
Yeah, I thought 3, and 4, and 5 are all on there now, right?
I know 5. I have 5. I have 5 on there.
I want to say I just bought 4.
Oh, okay.
Let me go through a few. This is from Blowhard says RGT 6.2 makes the ladies go woo.
yeah.
Wyatt says who your respective mains in Smash. For Wyatt, it's Lucina.
Bowser.
I'll play as some Simon. You know.
Yeah. I'm a Belmonter.
Yeah, Simon's pretty fun to play as.
This is the question that I've asked this question like 9 million times.
Well, you're Sheik, aren't you?
I'm a Sheik, but she's trash. So like I use Wolf. Wolf was my main from Brawl, so I'm a Wolf main first and foremost. Like if I have to win, I'm gonna try to use Wolf, but I also use Sheik and I also use Inklings as well. So
Sheik is a lot of fun in World of Light, though.
I haven't even played World of Light yet, so.
World of Light's good. I'm actually almost done it.
I'm gonna play.
You
it.
haven't played World of Light yet?
World of Light's fun, man.
I finished it over the
trying to
break.
I'm starting to go to local. I've got a local to go to tomorrow, so I'm trying to get a little bit better. So
got it. Yep. Lucas George says Imliv. See, if you had put a space in there, it would have said I'm live, and that actually probably would have made more sense. But let's read it. Jay Senator says, what really needs to happen is Nintendo needs a collaboration, new IP with Microsoft to appear on both Switch and Xbox One, same type of deal with N and Sony. I don't know if that would happen. To have Nintendo and Microsoft work together on an IP that appears on both Switch and Xbox One.
Minecraft.
Or I would say something like I could picture a Conquer crossover of having like a Conquer's baddest fur day and it appears on both. I actually could totally see them doing that.
I mean, there were rumors going around Blasty 3. I remember this all over the place about Game Pass going to the Switch, and that sounded crazy. So,
oh yeah.
Well, before we get anything Conquer, I guess we'll get Banjo.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man, Super Lucky's Tale's coming over.
Yeah, that's weird.
You know, that game's all right. So that game mechanically is all right, but man, the characters and stuff are just boring in that game.
It's like, hey, I'm a paper cutout.
Yeah, like it controls like an all right platformer, like 3D platformer, but the characters are it's just boring. The game's just boring.
Yeah. Do that again. Sorry.
What's that?
What are you talking about?
Super Lucky's Tale.
Oh, Super Lucky's Tale.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a boring game. It's on Game Pass now, so people can try it out yourself. It's an art looking game, and it controls well. Like you don't fall through the platformers, or like the controls feel good, but there's no real reason to play it. I don't know. It's just not really fun. JT Blue says, "What are your thoughts on alleged Smash DLC leaks? I think they're fake, but even IGN reported on it. So do you think it has some legitimacy?"
Which ones are you talking about?
Steve, Ryu Hayabusa, the Dragon Quest,
and
Doom guy.
I don't want to hear anymore. Oh my god.
Did we just ruin that for you?
Like, Sakurai gets so pissed on all of this, and why can people just respect the man?
Because
He's never getting a break. As he said it himself, he's never getting a break.
The one that's probably the most likely out of all of those is the Dragon Quest.
yeah.
That's about it. I don't know if Doom Guy would actually show up. Doom Guy would be cool. That'd be a cool twist, but
I do think Ryu Hayabusa, maybe that might be something. Nintendo's worked with them before. They have a good relationship with Koei Tecmo as well. So maybe on that one. I don't know.
that'd be cool. That'd be cool to see Hayabusa in there. That'd be neat.
I mean, Ninja Gaiden used to have a huge presence on Nintendo.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
How do we get the older Ninja Gaiden games on the Switch then? How do we do that?
Well, you got the original.
Yeah, you got the original Ninja Gaiden.
Oh man, Ninja Gaiden, all the ones from the Xbox. Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, not 3. 3.
I would love those ones. I would love Ninja Gaiden, the Ninja Gaiden Black or Sigma, whatever.
Yeah.
I was playing that on the Xbox One. It's actually backwards compatible on the Xbox One right now.
It is, yeah. And it runs so good. It's trippy, actually.
It's a part of Game Pass. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It does run really well. And then Lycon says, Yo, OJ, did you see my boy Zero today in Pool's back at his first tourney since he retired? They showed 2 of his matches, and he streamed it all.
Yeah, I was watching Zero. Zero's looking better than ever. He's probably the first, I would say, Smash 4 player to make it like huge, as in like this guy has like 17,000 subs on Twitch and all that. Like he's like larger than life at this point. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the competitive scene, like even win or lose, it doesn't matter. Zero is Zero. He's going to have like this crazy fan base. So yeah, I saw him. He's moving. His cloud looks really good. So yeah, it was great to watch him get back into it because he retired. Now he's back out of retirement and he looks great.
Real quick, Brian Phillips says, will Sean sing Mother again if Mother 3 is announced for the Switch?
If Mother 3 is announced for the Switch in 2019, not only will I sing the song, but I'll play the song on the guitar as well because it's not a hard song to play.
Hey, there's a direct coming up, man. You never know.
It's not happening.
Mother,
Start tuning it, bro.
Like Danzig, Mother?
Yes.
I want to see that.
I'll even straighten my hair out for it and wear like a sleeveless cutoff shirt like he does in the video. Like I'll go all out.
Like a badass, like Mother.
Yeah, dude. I love that song. So
that song's great. I like the song.
And then finishing up, Boss Hog with $1. No message. Thank you. And I think those are all the super chats. Yep. Sonic Adventure 1 remake. Who wants it? Anybody?
yeah.
No. What? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but
I love that game. I think the music aged really bad. The songs are so cringy. But other than that, I really like that game.
Cheesy Crush 40.
I mean, all Sonic games have that sort of like since the Dreamcast era, especially all the Sonic games. Like when I was playing Smash over the break, and the Sonic Color song came on when I was fighting against Sonic, and I got so happy because I love that stupid song.
I think
It's like the cringiest pop punk song in the world. The colors seem so bright.
Well,
But it's just
what
like,
about, dude? The final boss theme for Sonic Adventure says, "Danger! There's water is rising. When you gotta go, you go." And it's just like, what kind of a lyric is that?
hey, I would take it.
I would play it. You can get it on Steam now for super cheap, and it's not great. I played it when I was collecting footage. I was playing through the first level, and I fell through the floor and died.
Yeah,
I got it on footage and everything. Oh my god!
You gotta practice a lot. I've played that game so many times. I've memorized every.
I gotta
single part of
practice
it.
so I don't fall through the floor.
Yeah, you have to practice not like dying because that game is so badly built.
Yeah, it's like I was just rolling along, just running and into nothingness. So if they can fix it, that'd be cool. Like,
But
they can
again-
do that,
but then again, we're getting Team Sonic Racing first.
can't
So
wait.
when do you think we could see a remake of the first Adventure game? Because if you make a remake of Adventure, people will demand Sonic Adventure.
they would have to. I think they'd announce it at their Sega Festival. That's like at the end of the. When is that? When was that?
September, right?
Yeah, that's probably when they'd announce it. That's
Yeah,
where they
yeah.
announced Shenmue.
That was a fun event. I remember streaming that live with Stupid Joe from GameSack. That was a lot of fun.
That's where I would assume they would do it if they're gonna do it. Would be there. Otherwise, they'll
Who
just
knows?
announce the next Sonic game and move on. So maybe that's where they show their classic system, their Sega Classic system. That'd be cool.
I think Sega's going to have an interesting year in 2019. From what I've heard, it's like they're finally realizing people love their back catalog of games and want more shit like that. I think you're going to start to see a lot
Dude,
more from them.
And their new stuff, Judgment. I've seen people translating Judgment now into English, and oh my god, it's more serious in a lot of ways than Yakuza, but it's more focused. Like you're playing as a detective. The first like 5 hours is just about like hunting down a serial killer.
Does that mean that we can play it without having to be super familiar with the Yakuza series?
Yes, it looks like it takes place in the Yakuza universe, but it's just super separate. Like you don't have to worry about 15 dynasties of like leaders.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I'll be jumping into that right away when it comes over. I wish they had an English option in there because I would have figured out a way to play it or do something. I don't know, but yeah, that's cool though. That's cool. I'll be getting that when it comes over in summertime. Yes, summer, cool. So that's what I'll do. But that's it for tonight for SpawnCast. Let me go around here. Conrad joined us. Where can they find you, man?
Well, you can find me on YouTube on youtube.com/commonwealthrealm. Do a lot of different Nintendo Switch stuff. Started with Zelda, but obviously expanded beyond that, and try to make it as good as possible.
Yeah, very cool. Go check them out, guys. They have some good. What would you call them? Would you call them like video essay type things, or like scripted deep dives at times? And
I would say that pretty much video essays of the scripted kind. Yeah. Okay,
cool. Very good. Then we got Max, Dreamcast guy. Where can they find him, man?
youtube.com/Dreamcast guy. I've got some videos coming up very soon. I hear that we're going to be getting the Resident Evil demo relatively soon. So I want to do a big video about the Resident Evil 2 demo. And then I actually should be getting my copy of the game relatively soon too. So
cool. I asked Capcom and they said maybe. Probably not, which means we saw your last video where you
talk to Paul about that.
Paul, huh? Which Paul? Paul.
Paul.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll talk.
Yeah, Ian told me that they were getting some of that in because I'm on the list for it.
Oh, yeah, I gotta stop making fun of Capcom now.
So. No, it doesn't matter. You can still make fun of them because Paul will get the codes. And then
true. It's called the hookup.
Cool. And then Nate passed 10,000 subscribers recently, so congratulations, Nate. But where can they find you? Because you're going to be doing some discussion pieces, I assume, right?
Potentially.
Okay.
I mean, it'll depend on the topics that spring about.
Well, let's say a direct is coming up. When it hits, would you decide to do some kind of discussion piece on that, for example? Just as an example.
Yeah, if a direct comes, I'd probably break down the direct, discuss it, look at the release dates, the impacts of how it could, hit their sales, the hardware momentum, especially leading up to the end of this fiscal year. Stuff like that would probably be what I would discuss. It's not just going to be a recap of the direct, like, they announced Metroid Prime. Cool.
Cool. Okay. I'll look forward to that. Yeah, you should be doing that. You're at Direct Feed Games, though, right?
Yeah, Direct Feed Games. Find it on Twitter. If you search it on YouTube, you'll probably find it, but you're probably better off finding me on Twitter and finding a link to my channel on my Twitter profile. And next week, I have a new comparison video coming out for an upcoming Switch game, comparing it to the original version. It's not Onimusha, but I'm not going to tell you what the game is either. You have to wait to find out.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. And then OJ, where can they find you, man?
Yeah, just right here on YouTube, Player Essence. I'm going to be doing a lot more Smash Brothers streaming now that I'm going to locals and stuff. And I think I'm going to register late for Genesis. I don't really feel like it's in Oakland. I don't really feel like going to Oakland. I'll be honest, but yeah, I'll be doing more.
How far is Oakland from you?
It's about 5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus. So. But the problem is that
as far as from me to you.
The problem is that it's Oakland. That's the problem.
Oh yeah.
It's Oakland. So I mean, people from California know what I'm talking about. But anyway, but yeah, I'll be doing more Smash Brothers streaming. And I'll also be doing some pretty cool videos like on the Damon X Machina. I got another video that I'm working on for that. Also got some cool videos that I'm doing for some of Nintendo's upcoming games. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. So that should be fun as well. And I just released a comparison video between like New Super Mario Bros. And Tales of Vesperia. I'll be having videos on that too coming up because I'll be getting review copies for both of those. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Cool.
It's upcoming week.
Very good. And then Sean, where can they find you, man?
Find me on RGT85. I just did an interesting video that I think pissed a certain developer off, talking about Crazy Justice, like doing sort of a deep dive into the history of the game, the company that made the game, and all this stuff. I pretty much said that they used the Switch for clout, which I feel like they did in order to get their game funded. However, that is a cool video. I'll drop a link to it in the chat. As far as what's coming up, I'm actually doing 2 collection videos tonight. I'm I went to Twitter and asked if people would be interested in seeing my Saturn and Switch physical collections, and they were like, "Yeah," because I haven't really done shit with my collections on the channel for like a year. So I'm gonna do those. I'm gonna film those 2 tonight, and then they'll come out over the next 2 days. And then I don't know, whatever else. I'm kind of busy personally doing things that you will find out about soon. No escorts, no escorts. But yeah, there'll be some changes coming to the channel soon. Maybe sooner than later. So you'll see.
OJ, do you have anyone in mind for a raid? People were asking if we wanted to do one.
Yeah. My boy George. George is playing some Danganronpa.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Do we have that?
D3.
Do we have that? We can drop that in the chat. Yeah.
I got the link right there, Raid. I put it right there.
Cool. All right, there you go, guys. Go ahead and raid George, and that's going to do it here for SpawnCast. And we'll be back next Saturday night, hopefully with a direct to talk about. But if not, we'll find some other stuff to talk about. So we'll see you guys next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you guys then.